Hello, I am here. Oh boy, am I hungry.
So I think that there are people in the world who need to start thinking about what the world they live in is going to be like when the Europeans do become the minority. I mean, it's not enough that for us we have to think about why are we doing this? Why are we allowing this? Well, there are other people in other places who are going to have to think about this too. So it's worth them actually starting to think ahead. And one of those people are the Maori in New Zealand, because, like everywhere else, the people of the West have decided, you know what we need to do is just commit suicide. I think we've had enough. We're going to expire now. We're tired. We've tried to fix the world, and it seems that a lot of it is beyond fixing. And so we've just given up. And so this is, of course, very similar to here, although worse, it seems. People of the proportion of the population of European ancestry only is now down to 55.9%, according to the last census. So about 56% of the population in 2023. There's about 5 million people there, so New Zealand's quite a small place overall. Land mass wise, it's the size of Britain, but population wise, about a tenth of it was less than a tenth of our size. But the demographic situation there is quite concerning, obviously for the English descended population, but also for the Maori population, because like the English and the Maori in New Zealand have a settlement together, right? They have an understanding, or they had an understanding together, based on historic events and a certain kind of moral code that the English and British more broadly brought with them. And this was one of consideration. This was one of, okay, yeah, we accept that you are the minority here and we have made you the minority here. And so we will have treaties with you. We will give you a special space in Parliament. We will give you special consideration with the rest of the civilization so that you continue to exist as the Maori. Because that was something that actually the British, for all of our faults, did not have a fault in. And that's a deliberate attempt to get rid of the existing people there. We rocked up, we created our cities, we made states, but we weren't intent on getting rid of the people who already lived there. In fact, we laboured under the delusion that, well, they can just come and join us, can't they? Everything will be hunky-dory, won't it? So I don't know, is everything hunky-dory? Does everyone feel that everything's gone hunky-dory? But anyway...
They literally want, like, special rights and privileges, and, when they don't get their way, they scream and yell and do that weird, stupid shit in, whatever the equivalent of their parliament is. I went back on spaghetti after losing 20 pounds of muscle from being sick. All my lifts went up 10 pounds in a week, and I can't believe how much better I feel self-administering compared to the doctor. Well, yeah, because doctors are fucking retarded. So that's what you'd expect.
According to the data tool for New Zealand, 2,790,000 New Zealanders are European only out of the 5 million, so 55.9%. This is, of course, down from 59% in 2018, 61% in 2013. And you might think, okay, well, they've obviously got a large Maori population. Well, no, not really, actually. The Maori only was 7.3%, and the mixed European and Maori population was only 8%. So if we say 16% are Maori, again, not entirely, but, you know, can be considered like non-European, even though they are partially European, but whatever. If we just lump those together, 16% of the population is not that high. And if it were just Europeans at 84%, Maori at 16%,
No,
Well,
this is
you
not
would
carrot
have a
cake.
fairly stable society that would have the kind of rules that the British are known to put in place, and a kind of understanding of fairness. So the Maoris themselves would have a sort of persistent kind of honour in the society. But of course, things are changing. You have large numbers of Asians and Chinese moving to New Zealand now, and you have various other ethnic groups from all around the world moving in. And you've got to ask yourself, are they going to be as considerate of the Maori as the British were? Are they going to consider that they have an obligation?
These are pretty fucking insane demographic changes over a very short time frame, like 10 years.
To this indigenous ethnic group in New Zealand? And I suspect the answer is probably no. I mean, the immigration into New Zealand has been quite wild, actually. So in 2022, they had 154,000 new immigrants. Now, for a population of 5 million, that's a massive figure. That is a massive, massive figure. India, the Philippines, and China were the top three nationalities of the newcomers. Do they care about the Maori? I mean, we can't get the white Europeans, the British in New Zealand, to care about themselves, right? We can't get right. 10 new arrivals per. So yeah, there were 20,000 fewer victims of assault. That's good by 2020.
The CPC is once again in disarray as another MP crossed the floor to join the Liberal caucus. Second time in 2 months. It's also widely speculated that the Libs will convince more Conservative MPs to cross and get a majority.
Floor crossing.
Why is this happening? Why are they doing this?
Continue to change the Liberal Party's numbers in the House of Commons, with Conservative MP Michael Ma announcing he's joining Carney's caucus. Political scientist Hamish Telford says it's part of a strategy.
I think what is very obvious is that the Liberal Party is working their channels on the other side of the House of Commons, trying to lure people over who are perhaps more moderate Conservatives.
Further changes to the Conservative Party could come with federal MP Aaron Gunn saying he's seriously considering running for leader of the provincial BC Conservatives. If he did, he wouldn't have to quit his job in Ottawa immediately.
He could retain his seat. He could still go to Ottawa vote. Only if he won the leadership and was going to leave federal politics would he resign his seat. So we're still in minority territory here.
And while there have been no defections from the Liberal caucus, cracks are showing there too.
And we saw that with Stephen Guilbeault's resignation from the cabinet. There is some discomfort in Liberal ranks, in some quarters at least, of where Mr. Carney is leading the party, and they are worried that he's leading them in a much more conservative direction.
With today's switch, the Liberal government stands at 171 seats, with 173 needed for a working majority. In Vancouver, Shaylee Shaw, City News.
I have no idea why the fuck they're doing that. The Liberal government is literally pure evil. They're just enabling criminals and increasing violent crime, prosecuting people who defend themselves, and they're trying to take away our guns too for absolutely no fucking reason. It's just fucking insane. And the cost of living is just going to go up like it has for the last decade too. Like, they're just fucking over the country. Thanks for the donation, Scare.
A gag order to stop talking about it.
Is he talking about this again?
All this stuff
Oh my god.
Whistling Diesel. I've had the same thing, but worse.
Okay, I think we already saw that one.
I am so exhausted with these chargebacks, and sometimes these customers are so ridiculous, it drives me absolutely insane. These lunatics emailed me telling me the eggs should last 6 months and that they were filing a chargeback because their eggs that they ordered in October were now going moldy and going bad in December. Like, do I have to sell magic eggs? Do I have to feed my chickens nuggets of gold so that the shell of the egg is golden and they last forever? What is wrong with these people, dude? Literally sending serious emails saying, oh, the egg should last at least 2 to 3 months, possibly up to 6. Yeah, who told you that? The crack addict on the corner you're sharing your eggs with? What? I'm so sick of these chargebacks, dude. I'm so sick of this. I'm losing
This is bizarre. Well, he should know his audience are obviously a bunch of fucktards, so. It's like he doesn't realize the only people who'd watch him and buy his shit are like obviously going to be fucking retards.
So this is a comment about someone who had a rhinoplasty, and then the doctors actually started attacking her, saying she was spreading hateful and fear-mongering statements about the doctor, which goes to show how deranged and crazy and psychopathic some of these doctors are.
Okay, we've already seen that one. I don't know if he re-uploaded some of these.
about rhinoplasty. I have an insanely hooked nose. First, make sure you go to a good surgeon that has results you like and that is proven. I would look in Turkey. I haven't looked too much into rhinoplasties, but I know what not to get. They have a lot of messed up nostrils, stuff that's caved in like that, looks horrible. You don't really want to go much smaller than your original nose. So if you have a hook in your nose, just get rid of the hook. Don't go too crazy. Keep it as minimal as possible and natural as possible, unless you have like some crazy schnoz. Where I know there was some poor girl on here that had a really crazy nose. I'm sure most of you guys saw her. And she did get a nose job. And I think they made it as small as they could. But, be really careful about getting inward nostrils or like a smushed nose that is too small. What?
Promised you guys we would do another Wagyu video to try to get the full experience. Here we are at this puzzle Ginza building to try to navigate my way to this restaurant. And finding things in Japan is a lot different from the States because Tokyo is very, very dense. There's a lot of buildings that have multiple floors, so there's a very good chance wherever you're going is not going to be on the first floor. And I'm super confused because I don't know where this place is. I'm fucking clueless. I am fucking clueless. It says that steakhouse is on the 10th floor. All you can eat Matsusaka Wagyu beef for $100. That's not where we're going though. Is that it? 8th floor? I guess it's the 8th floor, right? The Google Maps listing, it looked like BF, but I guess the B was an 8. So I guess we're going to the 8th floor. So this place is called Wagyu Master or something. And out of the places I looked at on Google Maps, this seemed like the one I wanted the most. Beautiful construction inside this elevator here. Very high attention to detail. I was surprised, honestly, I haven't been kicked out yet dressed like this, wearing this. Okay, thank you. Oh, they threw him in a private booth to hide me away from all the other customers. This is nice. I don't think I've ever been in a restaurant in my life in a private booth like this. Hey, he looks like he got beat up. He looks like a hoodlum. Throw him in the private booth. I can't fucking complain. I don't care. Alright, so we have beef Wagyu course. Now, when I see 3 different prices, I try to figure out, what's the difference between 3 types of appetizers is the same. Yeah. So this is on? On? Off. Okay. Dessert is the same. Cold noodle is the same. Yeah, yakasuki is the same. So the bottom's the same, the top's the same. But these 2 menus are substantially different. You're getting 4 cuts of beef and a white broth soup versus premium beef and 2 premium steaks, but I guess we're here for premium. I don't really want sashimi, but I'd rather try the steak cuts than the non-steak cuts, so I guess we'll just go with the premium course. Let's check the drink menu. Should we just get a bottle of wine? I want some water. I don't want to drink. So we got our, this is to grill the meat, tongs. This looks like a salt block to serve it on. We got a nap. This is like a bib. They brought our wet towel. Oh, what's this? Drink menu? Oh. Actual menu. Oh wait, this is a la carte menu. So we don't necessarily have to do that. Now, I'd rather probably not do that. I'd rather probably just go all a la carte because I don't want the vegetables and stuff. Limited quantity Wagyu, prime Wagyu beef platter. Lean quality. Selected marbling. Wagyu beef a la carte. Premium Wagyu rare parts. Outside skirt steak. Is that per piece? That's expensive.
Oh yeah, crap.
That's expensive. So that's probably a way better deal.
Will you come on Finding Gnosis for a couple minutes and answer a few questions from the folks here? It's okay if you don't want to right now.
Give me like 2 minutes. I'll do it in like 2 minutes. Thanks for the donation, Animal Liberation. I'm gonna go grab the bottle of the barbecue sauce that I was talking about so I can show all of you. And I'm gonna just take a piss. I'll be right back. Okay, actually, I'll just show you guys an image of it. This is it. Fire Barns ramen Japanese barbecue sauce. That is the fucking shit. That is so good, it just tastes good on its own. You just want to drink the fucking bottle. That is fucking dope. Highly recommend. I've been putting that shit on just about everything. Alright, let me take a look. Give me 1 second. Why isn't this working? Deactivated it. It should work. Yeah, the HD60X is what I'm using. Fucking give me a break. Enter without mic. Why would my... Oh, there we go.
So what was the sentencing, just so I get a quick update?
Yo.
Vegan Gains is with us.
Oh, hello.
Yo, what up?
So the one of the things that we're talking about here is we're talking about Zoe. And, you know, I was saying that basically, I mean, I called her a political prisoner. I don't know if that's really the correct definition. We got Yerf Dogs in the chat. He's like, oh, you know, she's not really a political prisoner. You know, that's just something to spark people's emotions.
Yerf Dogs is euphemism, by the way, Richard. Just
The what?
He's one of the guys you spoke to the other night.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but, you know, he's basically saying, like, that she wasn't arrested, or he's saying that he thinks it's perfectly reasonable that they didn't let the evidence of, you know, what was going on in the factory farm into the court trial. They didn't, like, let her show the videos or anything. He thinks that's perfectly acceptable because she wasn't being tried for rescuing chickens. She was being tried for, like, other things she did, like trespassing or tampering with a vehicle or conspiracy. And I don't know, like, for example.
So if somebody knew or had knowledge of children being abused on private property, you broke onto private property to get video footage and evidence of children being abused, and the police were to charge you with trespassing, breaking and entering, and you wanted to show why you trespassed and entered, to, say, exonerate you, because under the law we have things like whistleblower statutes where you can do these things, like trespass, break and enter, if it has some sort of legitimate public or political interest.
Well, that's what I said. I was like,
So,
you know,
yeah,
I mean, if it was humans, we would just be like, yeah, of course we're gonna, like, of course I'm gonna break into that person's property and fuck with shit to whatever I have to do to get those people out of there, right? Like,
yeah, so either you have to take the position that somebody should be charged and not be allowed to present evidence that children were being abused if they're getting charged for breaking and entering, to whistleblow about children being abused, or you will have to say there's some sort of difference between humans and animals, where if you are doing something in the public interest, you know, whistleblowing, you cannot present your evidence in court when it comes to animals, but you can when it comes to humans, and in that case it asks you to name the trait.
yeah, I mean, let's just be real. The people who are being like, oh, it's perfectly reasonable that they didn't show this evidence, Yerf Dogs, they're clearly just like, it's because they're not beaten. You know, they want it to be, like, let's be real. They just want to be okay. They want it to be okay, I think. I think that's what it really is. They want it to be okay that these, like, companies are fucking abusing animals because they don't want to feel guilty, right? Yerf Dogs, come on, let's get real here, man. I wanted him to.
I think he's just a fucktard.
Oh no. Okay. Well, Yerf Dogs, you're welcome to come on here. He said he lost his voice, that's why he doesn't want to be on. But is that okay? Here he says, I'm only talking about the legal issues. questions of evidence, etc. That evidence being excluded sounds well within normal bounds of
Yeah, that
evidential.
doesn't sound like in any way a response to anything I said.
Wow. I think maybe because he was talking about, like, when, I was talking about her being.
Well,
I
by
called
the
her.
way, none of this is normal. None of this is normal at all. Because there were ag gag laws that were introduced fairly recently that were intended to stop whistleblowing. Because these animal agriculture industry people knew there were vegans going onto farms, blowing the whistle on animal abuse. So they basically pressured lawmakers with whatchamacall. What's the political thing? I can't find the word, but they pressured lawmakers to just make these ag gag laws where they could do shit like this, where the whistleblowing laws wouldn't apply, and I don't see any logical reason for why you would do that. So again, either you're going to have to bite the bullet and say, even in human cases, if you are breaking and entering onto property so that you could blow the whistle on children being abused, you should not be able to present that evidence in court if you're getting charged with trespassing, breaking and entering, blah, blah, blah. Or you're going to have to name a trait difference between humans and animals where for some reason it's reasonable in the human case to be able to present evidence in court, but unreasonable in the animal case.
Well, he's saying that
Name a trait
NTT
is irrelevant. Yeah, you're full of shit. You don't know one, why? You're not making an argument for why, and I don't see how in the fuck that would be irrelevant. If you're going to say, in the human case, it is reasonable, in the animal case, it is unreasonable, then clearly name the trait is the relevant question to ask.
And I would love Yerf Dogs. You should really come up here, man. I don't know why you're avoiding the stream so hard right now. I have a hard.
This is just fucked-hearted horseshit. You're an absolute bullshitter. So again, saying something so stupid is like I can't even imagine.
Because NTT is irrelevant to the rules of evidence. Well,
What in the fuck does that have to do with anything I just asked you? I asked you, what is the morally relevant difference between humans and animals where presenting evidence in the human case is reasonable, presenting evidence in the animal case is unreasonable? I'm asking you. So what the fuck?
I guess maybe it's because he's saying, like I was saying, she's a political prisoner. And he's saying no, because this doesn't really have to do with the politics. It's just that, like, but
well, clearly
I think
it does. Why? So, like, why in the human case is it allowed? In the animal case, it's not. Clearly, there is a difference in political interest, and we know there are ag gag laws that have been designed specifically to prevent animal activists from whistleblowing. This is absolutely political.
I agree with you there. I know. I think Patsy. That guy who was on here on the stream earlier, he had a question for you, but he left. So I guess he doesn't want to ask it. Patsy, did you have something you wanted to ask vegangains before he leaves?
Yeah, it's not really not applicable to vegetarianism or anything, animal rights or anything like that. But it's kind of deep, and you may not want to answer it. But what do you think is the meaning of an individual's existence here on this earth? Period. In general.
Whatever you want it to be.
And can you be more specific? I mean, can you be more specific?
I'm a moral anti-realist, so morals are subjective. So if you're talking about meaning, like meaning of life, that's entirely subjective to the individual, and it's whatever you want it to be. Mm-hmm. So if your meaning for existence and life in general is to find peace and happiness, then that's it. To cause suffering and death, and that's it. To piss and shit all the time, then that's it. It's entirely subjective to the individual. You're the one who has that power to decide.
One more thing. I like that answer. Now, what if somebody says they don't feel like they have a meaning in life? In their life?
Then that's the
That'd be-
case.
Is that
Again,
something?
you're
Is
the one who.
that person?
Yeah, then that's the case. You're the one who decides that.
Yeah. I mean, no particular meaning. Specific. Um, like a family, friends.
Yeah, then that would be true of that individual.
Mhm. So there's a lot of people that do feel that way.
Again, things like meaning are subjective. So whatever the subjective experience of the individual is would be true for that individual.
Mhm.
Well, I want to thank Vegan Gains for joining us. I know you're a busy guy. You're running a stream right now, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on here and answer some questions. I'd love to have you back on here again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to slay some carnist retardation.
Yeah, no, it really is. I mean, I've had this debate with Yerf Dogs a few times now. I don't know why. He said to me before something about like NTT is just a party trick or something like that. He loves to.
Yeah, so that guy's a fucktard. I've heard that horseshit before. Make a formalized argument for why NTT is somehow an irrational argument or doesn't apply in whichever case it's being discussed. Saying that doesn't mean anything. So, like, if I were to say, well, everything you say is bullshit, what does that mean? Right? So, like, you saying NTT is bullshit isn't an argument. Just like how I can't dismiss anything you say by saying everything you say is bullshit, you can't do that either. So make a fucking formalized argument for why NTT is irrational in some way, doesn't apply to certain lines of argumentation. NTT proves that morality is arbitrary. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm a moral anti-realist. The whole point of NTT, it aligns perfectly with moral anti-realism because you're asking the individual what they believe is moral and to come up with rationalizations for why they think animals have some morally substantive difference than human beings. It is completely, perfectly aligned with a moral anti-realist perspective. That's not a problem because it's just testing logical consistency. That's it. So again, you saying that just proves you're a fucking idiot and you don't even understand what name the trait does, what the point of the argument is.
We have other trolls in the chat here. This is really funny. They should go to your channel and see some of your workout videos. Yerf Dog says he understands NTT.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You wouldn't have said that if you did. So you're a fucking idiot.
I would love to see a more formal debate. Someone asked earlier, when is there going to be a life abolitionism versus vegan gains debate? I was really hoping that because life abolitionism usually comes on this stream. So I was kind of hoping that you both would be here tonight, but I guess he's not around. So I'm going to try and make that happen.
He can come on my channel whenever he wants, and yeah, sure. Just shoot me a message or whatever.
Cool.
If he's around.
All right. Well,
what do you enjoy debating?
Vegan?
What do I enjoy debating?
Marcus asked him a question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, Richard, what do you enjoy debating? Like, if you could have your choice of subjects and that you're actually like happy about, not just
I can't say that I'm happy debating anything because usually it ends up just being a complete headache and the topic just ends up being ridiculous nonsense. Like I end up debating like fucktards on moral realism, and again, the types of people who debate moral realism are usually just idiots to begin with. A lot of Muslims, Christians. I did enjoy my debate with Gary Emendum, debating ethylism. That was kind of a moral realism debate, and again, but I don't know, I just got along with him fairly well, and he was pretty polite. It was like a rare circumstance where I kind of enjoyed that. Same with veganism. It's usually just a fucking headache. The enjoyment I get out of it, I guess, is just kind of making somebody look stupid, and like I kind of get a euphoric rush out of being angry sometimes.
Okay, but what specific subjects are you personally interested in? I guess is more at the heart of what I was trying
Yeah,
to get
sure.
at. Like,
Yeah, like veganism, moral realism, firearms, legality of like drug use, personal freedoms, stuff like that.
okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, we got JE's in the chat. JE, before Vegan Gains leaves, do you have anything you wanted to ask him? Vegan Gains, like, are we totally fucking screwed? Because it feels like the people that think like us, or that are all in kind of alignment on wanting things to be really logically sound, and this line of ethics, it's just so few people, right? It's like the world's run by fucking assholes and idiots, and people that don't think don't think logically about many things. I mean, but it seems like there has to be some good people there, because then nothing would run if we didn't have some good people, right? So there has to be some hope. Do you think there's any hope?
Well, this is why I advocate for eugenics. I think the only way forward, especially if we allow for immigration on the scale that we've been having it, we're absolutely going to have to employ eugenics.
Yeah, but how do you do that unless you have like it's one of the I feel like this is one of those catch-22 things. Like I feel like it's just like with like anarchy or antinatalism, it's all a catch-22, or it's all a paradox. It's like to get to that point, you'd have to already have enough people that care. If you had that tipping point, then we wouldn't be in the place we're at anyways, right?
Yeah. Well, there's just different ways society can go. We could just devolve and it can all just go to shit. Hopefully, AI can fix a lot of problems. So
How is it going to fix these problems if, like, I mean, what AI is up to snuff to do that? Because it feels like most of the AI we have right now is still kind of stupid, right?
Well, it's improving, and at a pretty rapid rate. So in the next couple decades, we might manage to create a general intelligence that can improve upon its own design. And then it can solve like some of these issues. Like we might end up having injections that will make people smarter, or cure like psychopathy, stuff like that.
Or maybe it would go the other way around. Maybe it would cure, the pain of having emotions.
Very likely, since like I mean,
what if psychopathy is the way?
Well, psychopathy doesn't get rid of your emotions; it just gets rid of your empathy.
Oh, okay, right, because they can still get angry.
Well, and sad and heartbroken, stuff like that.
So don't you feel like heartbreak has like a connection to empathy though?
No, not at all.
Because it's purely a selfish thing.
Yeah, it can be.
Well, in the case of a psychopath.
Well, and there's a range as well. Like people get this idea that psychopath is like a binary, where you either have no empathy or you're not a psychopath and you have some empathy. There's a range. So some psychopaths, they have a little bit of empathy, at least for certain people, like so close family members, really close friends. Everyone else, they're totally fine with like murdering and they can sleep like a baby.
That's interesting. But isn't that the difference between that's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath, right? I don't know like
No.
what the line is.
The general idea is like psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made.
I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey man, appreciate you coming on. It's been real.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, maybe we can have a debate with some carnist fucktards sometime.
Oh yeah, I would love for I would love for Yerf Dogs to actually come up here. He said that he lost his voice, although I don't know how true that is, but yeah, I'd love for like life abolitionism. If you're listening, man, let's make it happen. Anyway, all right, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Take care, dude.
What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when switching to a vegan diet? And how did you overcome them?
None. I just ate beans and tofu instead of meat. So none. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, I just never really cared to eat meat. Only reason I ate it was because I thought I had to. Then once I realized I didn't, then I just switched to like beans, tofu. Thanks for the donation though, Tommy.
Because if you wanted to get those parts in there on your own, it'd be more expensive. Yeah, for sure. Oh, you could get, that's cool. Liver, offal heart. You want to grill some pork aorta.
What the fuck?
Fresh vegetables, extras, side dishes. Alright, so what are we gonna drink? No alcohol, just go for the apple juice, baby. We'll get the apple juice. Apple juice with our Wagyu. No.
So notice how he was looking for the alcohol? I don't think they have any. Well, it says whiskey. I don't know if glass of wine. A lot of it says alcohol free. So I don't know.
No alcohol today, baby. We gotta fly soon, so we're not sick.
Okay, okay, they do have alcohol. He just doesn't want to get sick from flying. He drinks a lot. Like, every night he was in Japan, it looks like he was drinking.
Alright, well. Oh, I don't see sparkling. I don't know why, like, restaurants here. Oh, they do have sparkling water. Never mind. That's what we get, sparkling water. She showed me this is on, that's off, but it can get really hot. I might have to take might not be a bad idea to take my sweater off now so I don't overheat. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna be complaining later about how much I'm sweating my guts out. So I guess now we're gonna wait for her to our waitress to come back. Maybe they'll just abandon me in here. This is cool. I like.
You're right about heartbreak being selfish, VG. Just look at all the SJWs who were heartbroken when the leader of Hamas was killed.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Yes, no one's bothering you, no one's looking at you. More importantly, I can film very easily without worrying about anything. I guess that's why the main thing I like it so much. Could charge your phone, there's an outlet. That's cool. Could sleep here. If I miss my flight, sneak in here. I wonder if they forgot about me already. Normally I get a little dizzy with heights, but my vision is so fucked up I can't really see. The building here kind of blocking the view, so that's the main view. Well, been sitting here about 10 minutes. I was hoping this was gonna go kind of fast so I could go have some udon after, but They didn't even take my order yet. I'm curious if they forgot about me in here. I mean, 5 more minutes, I'm gonna have to open the door and remind them. No, there's like no QR code or no like automatic shit. They definitely have wait staff here.
Thanks for the membership and can do.
We got a beer. You got a beer.
There we go.
She said the sparkling water and the apple juice were both in a glass with ice. So I should have asked if the Coca-Cola was in a bottle, but arguably Coca-Cola beer,
I'm sure Hassan Piker, for example, cried himself to sleep that night when he first heard the news.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know he was also, you know, saying he was upset about Nasrallah's death. He's a massive, massive piece of shit. It's too bad he's alive. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Okay, so the appetizers just came like that. I don't know what this stuff is, dude. I'm just gonna eat it. I mean, what is that, just nuts? How are you supposed to eat that? What is that? Alright, I'm guessing those are garnish, and this is the app. Alright, so we'll have the beef last, right? So I'm gonna try it in this order and show you guys it. 1, 2. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's something I like. Definitely savory. Could be a fish ball. Very savory, umami garlic flavor. I'm not sure what it is. But it's savory and it's good. We got this one. Very savory.
He learned how to use chopsticks all of a sudden? I just noticed he's not eating with his hands.
Lots of nutty flavors. I wish I knew what that was. It's very delicious. It's very delicious. Very good. Those 2 bites feel more of like a, you know, an omakase restaurant. Or like a tasting menu. Where you have no clue what it is, but it tastes good. So let me, just 2 raw pieces of beef. I'm guessing this isn't supposed to be grilled. Very delicious. Basically, like, the best roast beef you would ever have. Alright, let's suit up. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take them to bring me that food, so I'm going to hop back on my phone and doom scroll. Well, she was quick. This is seafood. I don't think there's... That might be seafood with Wagyu, yeah. Some uni. Kept calling it unagi yesterday because my brain was fried. Some type of gelatin around it. I don't know if you're supposed to try to get everything at once.
If only Hassan developed suicidal depression from Yahya Sinwar's death.
Yeah. If only we could make him care too much. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I think I just ate a chunk of wasabi. I don't know if that's like a mustard gel or whatever what that is, but it's pungent. I don't know, maybe that's like you're supposed to take like small bites of it. No clue what these cuts are. I wonder if that's tongue.
Ew.
I wonder if that's tongue. That could be tongue. This is the sashimi. With uni and black caviar. The quality of the food here is definitely way higher than any other restaurant I've been. Small piece of uni.
I have been watching a lot of your content and debates recently, and you really have inspired me to make the switch to plant-based. For my last question, you're right. I need to simplify it. I think I am overcomplicating it in my head.
Yeah, it's very, very easy. So anytime you eat meat, just sub it out with like tofu or mock meats if you want. And same thing with dairy and eggs. You can sub it out with soy milk or sub it out with like egg replacement, like Just Egg. You know, very, very easy. Thanks for the donation though, Tommy.
Yeah, 2 small pieces of caviar instead of having it together. This is gonna be a lot of Wagyu, guys. I don't think I should eat all this. I'm not gonna be able to finish it. I don't have to eat all of it. I could just try pieces, you know. You guys admiring my chopstick skills today? Holy shit.
Oh my god, he's retarded.
What is wrong with me today?
He's so dumb.
Look at Tom getting exposed here like a fucking clown. Lol, this veteran got fucked hard because we're in a woman-worshipping society.
Let me take a look. You know, this guy just looks like a bitch. I don't know why anybody believes Tom Aspinall. The guy just looks like a bitch. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Are you guys filming me still? Yeah, no shit. Like, it was so obvious the guy was faking it. Let me see.
America, you stabbed me in my back.
This veteran risked everything to protect his country, but the way it ends will leave you speechless.
I served 12 years of my life in the United States Army, and recently something disgusting happened to me. I had a lady trespassing on my property, and I tried telling the lady to get off my property, and she wouldn't do it. So I told the lady several times to leave. She ended up calling the police, lying to the police, telling the police that I threatened her life and chased her with a knife and told her I'd kill her. This isn't true. She went under oath in a trial, lied to a judge. The woman admitted in the trial that she was trespassing on my property, and they found me guilty. You want to know why 22 soldiers killed themselves
How could they find her guilty when there's, like, literally no evidence that it happened?
every day?
Kind of makes me think that maybe there's, like, some evidence she took, like, cell phone footage.
It's because of crap like this. Pull your heads out of your...
Like, I don't know. This sounds a little strange. It's hard to believe that even if it was like a trial where it wasn't a jury, like they agreed to have a judge decide, that's bizarre if it's literally just he said, she said. Like, there's no way. Like, that would be enough for plausible doubt. So, that sounds like this was likely civil. There's no way this was a criminal trial. And yeah, he might have been out money for it, but, like, there's no way in a criminal trial. If there was, like, no evidence and it's just he said, she said.
your asses and take care of us veterans. This is what y'all make me feel like, America. This is what you can't replace any of that.
I'd have to look into that story. I don't know if you can find an article or something about that, but that sounds like it was a civil trial. Something just seems weird about that. Thanks for the donation, though, Unicorn Jizz.
Wow. Those pieces instantly crisp up. Already brown. Oh my god. This is way better grilled than the other one I had at that other place.
Rebecca Brooks. Sup?
This, very delicious. Very well seasoned. Probably the best piece of Wagyu sashimi I've had. Well, is it? Oh wait, let's compare it to, let me eat this and compare it to that place I went to the other night. It's way better. Way better. The chef seasoned it very well. Much better chef here. Oh. Yeah, that grill browned that up real quick. Super hot. Cool off to eat it, you know, you want to let the meat rest, but you're not doing that here, you know, you're just grilling it and then... I like how they give scissors.
What do you think ended up happening to the Wagyu with always forwarding? Do you think that it eventually started to get moldy and they just threw it away?
I don't know about it getting moldy. It sounded like they're keeping it in a freezer, but yeah, if Frank wasn't going to collect it, they probably just threw it out. Thanks for the donation, though, Blink. Appreciate it. That's really weird that they give you scissors.
Definitely the easiest way to cut this after cooking it. So we have our Wagyu outside skirt. Just have to put it on the salt. But that was very good. Ready? I'm not sure how effective that salt block is, to be honest. Again, like, Wagyu is so fatty, it's so rich, it's like eating pure fat. What is that? Okay. Oh, Chateaubriand. Oh, okay. So she came in and she put a little pot of sauce on there. Now that piece of outside skirt was way less fatty than the tongue. And I felt like that skirt was so greasy and so rich, but since this grill, I guess, was maybe a little hotter than the other place, or a little better than the other place, browning it on the outside seems to be really important. It's so rich, the tongue. It's like gray in the middle. It has that tonguey texture, you know? I'm not a fan of it. The texture of it.
Yeah, the Japanese really like to pre-cut their food. It's kind of funny how they don't eat with knives at all.
Steaks. Beautiful plate here, if I can grab it. Oh.
Yeah, this looks really gross. Like, not good.
Hey, that says assortment of 2 premium Wagyu steak part. I mean, if I'm being honest with you guys, like, I tried ribeye and strip at another place, and all this Wagyu tastes the same, dude. It all tastes the same. It's so fatty, it's so marbled, you're eating fat. It's impossible to differentiate between the cuts. They put gold flake on this steak, but, I mean, I'm just gonna grill the gold flake off.
Do an imperson of Hassan Piker crying like a baby over Yahya Sinwar's death.
Oh my god, you guys, I have terrible news. Our Lord and Savior Yahya Sinwar has been killed by the IOF. Kaya, what did I say? You stay in your corner. You're not allowed to walk around at all, especially now. Yahya Sinwar just died and you're seriously standing up and moving? Place. Kaya, place. Don't make me press your shock collar again. There you go. That's impression of me as Hassan Piker crying about Yahya Sinwar's death. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Now this Chateaubriand, this filet, doesn't have nearly as much fat as the other pieces, so I have a feeling that's going to be our best steak. Freaking pot is boiling. It smells actually like there's soy in that sauce. See, honestly, when I went to that Wagyu place the other night, it was similar to this, same style. A lot of meat. I think this is a little less meat. I was full before the end because I had a bowl of udon before. I wasn't able to finish the course, but I did taste everything just to try to get a taste, and honestly, like, you can't tell the difference between the cuts. I don't care what anyone says with this Wagyu stuff. Unless it's leaner, you cannot have a preference for any of the cuts. Any of the cuts. They all taste the same. On this grill like this, when the meat's that marbled, it all tastes the same. And the only way you're going to get any differences in the cuts is if it's leaner. Alright, so I'm gonna let the Chateaubriand rest a little bit. Take it off, let it rest. And we'll eat the I think this is the chuck flap here. Might have overcooked that tongue a little bit. This is definitely more rare, like I like it. I'm trying this for you guys, you know? But
yeah,
I'm gonna let you know if this experience is worth it or not. And I honestly, I don't think it is. Like, this stuff's super expensive, and it's like eating pure fat. I think Wagyu is for rich people.
Dude, that is so funny that after complaining about the always forwarding thing, all he has to say about Wagyu is it doesn't taste good, it's overpriced, and you're just eating pure fat for no reason. Wow. You don't say. It's just a dumb thing. Like, yeah. I always figured there's, like, no way Wagyu beef tastes any good, because, like, it is basically just pure fat. When in the fuck has anybody eaten a steak that's, like, pure fat and was like, oh, this is good? Tastes like shit.
That starve themselves, so make great fat. What I would do is I would go to, don't go to a super fancy, expensive Wagyu place like this. Go to like a regular place and order a few pieces a la carte. You know, go somewhere where you spend like, yeah, I turned it off. I mean, it's not that expensive, you know, that's the thing. Like, I'm spending $100 at this dinner, and it's gonna be the most I've spent in Japan at any dinner. It's all the same, dude. All the same.
More Epstein file shit.
They just released a few new photos, right? I don't think anything big really came out of it.
is to demand that the president release the files, and we'll see what he does on the 19th. But I think, again, these pictures, some of these photos are really disturbing, and I know we've put some out to.
None of them were disturbing. There's a bunch of photos of like Trump and some other fucking people. There was nothing explicitly illegal in any of the photos. Like nobody was fucking any kids. So this one was kind of a big nothing burger. The other ones where they released like text messages and shit, those were way more incriminating.
Have all been redacted by the committee. We don't know who they are. We just know that Donald Trump is there. He's looking very casual. His shirt is unbuttoned. He's got a big handful of that one woman's side, but we don't know what year the photos were taken. We don't know the photos. Woman. There's another one where Trump is next to Epstein at an event while speaking to a blonde woman. Interestingly, her face is not redacted, and many other individuals in the photo is not redacted. But in the two prior photos with either one woman or six, their faces.
This chick's probably a public figure.
Were redacted. And at this point, we're left to wonder why exactly you would redact some faces.
And she's also probably not underage either.
But not others. One, I think, semi-plausible hypothesis that I've heard is that the ones whose faces were redacted potentially were victims or survivors of Jeffrey Epstein. We don't know for sure, but that is one. Fun guys, wild and crazy, just hanging out and figuring out how to.
Oh yeah, this one was great. It's kind of funny how that dipshit ended up getting that stuff out.
Launder Epstein's reputation, our infeeding of the minds. If we zoom in, there's a framed photo of a woman lying on a bed or a couch there. So Jeffrey Epstein, even.
I don't know what the fuck that is. That's a little weird. Woman lying on a couch. It's like kind of too blurry and small for me to make out anything. Like, I guess that's her face since it's blacked out. That's a little weird.
At that late date of those photos, wasn't exactly hiding his interests or anything, and he left it out for Steve Bannon to show up. But of course, Steve Bannon's not going to be dissuaded by that photo. He knew at this point everything that Epstein had done and still wanted to work the most from this scandal so far this year. He's actually like stepped down from positions and everything.
Yeah, this was like a kind of a nothing burger for the most part. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
And this is the party that calls gays pedos and groomers.
Well, with Republicans, every accusation is an admission, so they're probably gay and they probably are pedos. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Yakisuki with egg yolk and sauce. So they just brought out an egg yolk that has sauce in it. It's not. I'm gonna wait though. You can see it. You guys can see it. I'm gonna wait though, and I'm gonna have my Chateaubriand with the sauce. I'm not burning my hand on this thing. The least marbled piece. Pieces of tongue we didn't finish. Very made more sense. What happened was I was going to film the second night, but the staff was kind of like weird, you know, probably based on my appearance. They were being really like, oh, you have to order the course and pay cash. I was like, that's fine. And then the place they sat me down at was like, seemed like a hard spot to film. So that was what happened there. Yeah, we were supposed to film. I think that was last week. I went to that Wagyu place planning to film, and the seating and stuff was so awkward and out in the open that I didn't want to film anything. So we had to do it again tonight, just to show you guys the experience. That first one would have probably been a better one to film, but I don't know. The food here was definitely way better. They did have other cuts there though. Like they had more cuts there, but the meat was way thinner. So there was a little more variety. Now this place, the appetizers and the raw dishes were good. That other place I went to, I think this place is called Beef Master in Ginza. Beef Master in Ginza.
Someone said you reacted to Piers and Nick Fuentes. What stream was that on? I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, something like that.
Ginza.
Not sure which stream though.
My eyes hurt, man. I'm worried about this flight in 2 days. Yeah, the raw dishes at that other place were like horrible. I couldn't actually eat one of them. Like there was like lemon zest or lemon peel or something in one of them. It was horrible. Horrible. Yeah, there were like two raw dishes there that were bad. All right, thank you. What is this, ice cream?
It's ice cream included with cheese.
Okay. I'm sure it's good. Might as well try it. She said it's ice cream. Very fruity. It's like an ice cream cheesecake. A lot of jelly, fruit flavor, some nuts in there. I'm simple though. I'd rather have a slice of New York cheesecake. I think that was everything. So, probably going to be 17,000, 18,000 yen. Like $120. More than I've spent here the whole time. Way more. I mean, if I came back here next year for another surgery, I'd want to do a lot more research and go to like the best of the best places. Like, if you're going to spend this much money, because you get a delicious sushi dinner.
Remember, this is the guy who said he's broke. He can't afford to pay court fees. He only makes $200 a month. Like, this is just fucking... He's uploading this to the internet while he's making these claims and he's in a court battle. It's just insane.
Japan for 20,
like, he doesn't think.
So, the price of Wagyu is kind of hard to justify here. I think the restaurant's all the same. I think it's all booths like this. And the kitchen's like separate over there. It's an open kitchen, but it doesn't matter because the whole dining room is like enclosed booths. So that's pretty cool to know. All right, thank you. Oh, they didn't. Most places don't usually have gratuity here in Japan, but service place I guess sometimes do. All right, thank you. Arigato. Got the Wagyu beef up front here. Yeah, place like this, I don't mind gratuity. But most places in Japan, I'm trying to remember if I was ever charged gratuity before. Then again, I haven't been in places with full service like this. They actually have wait staff here and service. The traditional Japanese stuff, like stuff like this in New York, you know. Puzzle Ginza. Forwarding. We know how that goes. But I guess I'll wrap up the vlog here. I still slightly prefer raw Wagyu over cooked Wagyu. Well, I definitely prefer raw Wagyu over cooked Wagyu. And I don't really see a scenario where I would ever want to eat this much cooked Wagyu at once. I would like to have a nice dinner somewhere with 1 or 2 pieces of Wagyu as an appetizer. That's what I would like. I don't like the, like, I know I complain like when I'm at like the udon place or like another restaurant, I'm like, I'm not ordering Wagyu at an udon restaurant. But that's really what I would rather do. I like the nutritional aspect of having some fat from high quality beef and then having the rest of my meal. I don't want to go here and sit down because 2 pieces in, it's already too greasy. It's too much fat. It's overwhelming. So that's how I feel about this. I'm sure most people would really enjoy it. You know, the raw Wagyu beef is not a beef experience. This is definitely a beef experience. The fatty pieces don't taste like beef even when they're cooked, but like the tongue and stuff and some of the leaner cuts, you do get a beefy flavor. And what's going to make one Wagyu place different from the next is their preparation of the meat. All the raw stuff here was excellent. It was seasoned really well. The appetizers were delicious. The service was nice. The booth was a cool setting. I really like that. I really like this place for those reasons. The seasoning on the meat is definitely overlooked, especially the raw dishes. These were substantially better. You know, they didn't knock my socks off because I've eaten a lot of beef. I know what to expect, but it's definitely better than the other places I've went to. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of exploring you'd have to do. It'd be cool to do if I didn't run out of money and my health wasn't so bad, it'd be cool to do a Wagyu tour of Tokyo. That would be cool. I'd have to stay here for a month or two, honestly. There's so many places. You know what? You could rush it in a week. You'd get sick, but I could probably pull it off in a week if I had to. You know, it depends actually how many places are open for lunch. But I'm not going to explain how I could do it, but I could definitely do it in a week. I could definitely do it in a week. Wouldn't be easy, wouldn't be fun, but I could definitely do a Wagyu tour of Tokyo in a week. Be a lot of editing and filming, man. Be a nightmare. Go crazy. Wouldn't be worth it though, because I'm shadow banned and censored, and I don't get paid for stuff. I'm sure someone else will do it with my idea. People always half-ass stuff. You know, you really got to go to every place, try every place, understand the food, understand the experience. But I've been to, I mean, there's just too many places. There's just too many Wagyu places. There's too many Wagyu places. You'd have to like research them all online and narrow out which ones you want to try, because it's probably too many to try out yourself. But thank you guys for joining. We don't have too much more content to film. I think we're just doing omakase lunch tomorrow to see how it is. Hopefully I don't get too sick eating fish. And that'll be it.
Well, Frankie is still fucktard. Oh boy, this is going to be the most AIDS Piers Morgan panel of all time.
Stephen Crowder, who wrote on our YouTube channel How to Not Conduct an Interview 101.
This is what legacy media is done. You can't compete. Look, you're still following the same format, and so they're.
Stephen Crowder's like popularity is dwindling like crazy. Piers Morgan's YouTube channel is doing way better than Crowder's. Well, Crowder doesn't, he's not even on YouTube, right? He's on some other like fucking streaming platform. Like, what a joke. What a stupid
Accusing someone young of being racist is a win.
You know, we had Milo Yiannopoulos on, which generated quite a bit of controversy, and I had people criticizing me for hosting him.
Nick is a kind of chameleonic character. I couldn't tell you an opinion, aside from hating Jews, that if he has on Tuesday, he will absolutely for sure still have on Thursday.
Call me what you want. Go down that rabbit hole. Whatever. Completely missed the mark. For me.
The most damaging thing done, of course, was the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Well, one of the influential people with very strong views on this matter, among others, is Tim Poole, the CEO of Timcast Media, who joins me now. Tim, welcome back to Uncensored. We're going to come to a really appalling incident that happened at your home. You reported this yourself in a few moments. But first of all, what is going on?
Oh my god. This pussy is whining and crying about somebody shooting at his house. Like, buddy, you live in Chicago. Every other fucking person has had that experience.
On here with Candace Owens and Erica Kirk is causing a lot of consternation to a lot of people. You finally, like to me...
Well, no wonder he's interviewing Piers Morgan, then he needs money.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with the divorce with his wife. He definitely needs money. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Had enough and went pretty nuclear about this. Why does it matter to you so much to do this?
Well, the simple answer is that there was a coalition that was built by many people with This coalition had many different political views, but it largely coalesced around a populist pro-America movement. I myself grew up very liberal, very Democrat, and like many others, found ourselves more likely to vote Republican because we saw the Democratic Party as drifting away. One of the most powerful voices in uniting all of these forces was Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. I don't completely agree with everything Charlie said, nor Turning Point USA, but Charlie invited me and many others to debate those ideas. Even Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks was invited to come and speak at AmFest because Charlie understood only when we come together and have these conversations can we actually make this country better. Well, he was murdered. And it puts all of this coalition building in jeopardy. And this movement to try and help this country with not one singular political ideology, but many that overlap. And the most damaging thing done, of course, was the murder of Charlie Kirk. And now the second most damaging thing we're looking at is Candace Owens burning down everything he built and now having the gall to go after his grieving widow and his children, indirectly threatening their livelihoods, what Charlie built. It's a bridge too far. She's said many things that were increasingly, let's just call it, unhinged. And then finally, one day she said, pull your donations from this godforsaken organization, with a direct implication in her post saying that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by Turning Point USA, even saying in one clip that his friends would have had to have signed off on his murder. It seems like there is no depth too deep and no bridge too far for her to benefit her career and her show. She would even go after those who love Charlie the most. And I have no problem with people questioning the official government narrative or what the FBI thinks, but claiming there's Egyptian planes flying around in Utah time, which he was incorrect about, claiming that these planes are landing at airports or black SUVs are pulling into federal buildings where it just so happens her lawyers also work, it has just come to the realm of nonsense. The U.S. military, she claims, is now involved in his murder. She has turned the very tragic murder of Charlie Kirk, and she has turned this political movement into a reality drama true crime show where she treats us all like characters in a fictional show. And, you know, I think it's just gone too far.
You know, I'm due to have her on next week on Uncensored. I've interviewed her numerous times over the years and, you know, get on with her perfectly well. But I had a big set to with her about the Brigitte Macron thing, where I genuinely felt that she just completely concocted this whole narrative that Brigitte Macron was a man and then built a whole kind of conspiracy theory story around it and was doing it purely for attention, clicks and money. And it ended up with us having a $300,000 bet to charity, my bet being that Brigitte Macron, who mothered 3 children, is a woman. But even if it's proven, because of course the Macrons are now suing her, even if they win, it seems to me that Candace has got herself into a place now with, you know, her surging following.
He's getting a divorce with his wife. I thought divorce was to be forbidden in the Bible, and he claims to be a Khan.
Well, his wife is the one who initiated the divorce because he was abusive. He's also gay, so I don't think he really cares about Christianity. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
That even if the Macrons win the case and they prove that Brigitte Macron is a woman, which she is, Candace will just blame another conspiracy theory. She'll probably say it wasn't Brigitte Macron who took the sex test or whatever it is they do to establish the truth, and so on. In other words, there's almost no way to turn these taps off, right? If you're intent on monetizing conspiracy theories, particularly if you have concocted them, and I'm going to ask her directly on our next interview, are you just making this stuff up, right? Because that's what many people think. It's very hard to see how you stop it in the modern world.
I completely agree. And, you know, as you mentioned at the beginning of this interview, the shooting that took place at my property, and this is not to shift down to me, but this makes a good example of what her audience is looking for. And
what happened? So just explain to people who don't know what happened to you.
So it was late Friday into Saturday morning. So this is between midnight and 1 a.m. A vehicle slowly approached our property here at Timcast and opened fire. It appears to have been driving just below this, relatively low the speed limit. It slowly comes in line with one of our buildings, fires a shot, speeds up, lines itself up with our studio, fires 2 more shots. This took place between midnight and 1 a.m. Saturday morning. Our security company, our security guards immediately registered them as gunshots, called the local sheriff, the police. They came out, cleared the incident, took a report, and left. I learned about this at the time, but not entirely clear what had exactly happened. The next day, we reviewed security footage, and oh yeah, this vehicle pulled up, it fired these shots. We're pretty flustered. We're actually going to be leaving this location because even with security, a fence, a perimeter, these things are getting out of hand. Now, this happened, it's terrifying. Following this, Candace has been apparently accusing me of fabricating the whole thing. And a man on the internet, some random guy, calls the wrong police department, who says, we have no idea what you're talking about. It then goes viral among these people who follow Candace that the police said no such event happened and they have no idea what Tim Pool is talking about. And they say that proves it. However, journalist Cameron Higby then contacted the correct department who said, yes, we have this police report on file.
Oh, we will be so looking forward to when Piers interviews Erica Kirk, won't we, VG?
Yeah, sort of. I guess there'll be Ments. I can't stand her. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
File, this happened, we came out, we cleared, etc. And then they said, Cam is now lying. So even when he shows the phone call where they say, yep, this actually happened, they say he's lying. Now we have TMZ confirming the police report in question, and they're still saying I'm lying. So a random guy calling the wrong police department proves I lied, and an actual statement from the police saying, yes, I filed this, our security company filed this report, and another journalist verifying it, 2 journalists, 3 actually, that's never enough for them. So we did, for on the uncensored portion of the show last night, play some of the audio of the shooting. But the reason we can't release the footage is that it shows the layout of our property, the location of our security implementations, potentially personnel, and that would compromise our already compromised security. So what I've said is perhaps once we are officially out of here, which may be in about a week or so, then upon reviewing it with security, we will release that footage. But we have already released audio for those. Her audience doesn't care. They want to believe the drama reality that Israel is paying everybody, that I'm secretly funded by insert random deep state organization, because we are characters in a drama she is producing, a reality TV show, a whodunit, and stay tuned for the next episode to see what comes next.
I mean, I don't listen until I talk to her myself. I'll hold my fire about the credibility of any of the stuff she's coming out with at the moment. I certainly have no reason to disbelieve you. I messaged you on X when I read what had happened, because I thought it was appalling, particularly appalling in light of what happened to Charlie Kirk. You know, if this carries on, if public figures in this space of talking about politics and issues in the news and so on become legitimate targets in people's eyes for assassination, then it's hard to think of a worse suppression of free speech and democratic society. What do you think is happening here?
I think people are being driven insane by the internet. I think that, you know, if you take a look at YouTube, the question is, why has YouTube announced they were banning flat earthers, not necessarily banning, but they were going to suppress this kind of conspiracy content that claims there's an ice wall surrounding the inner continents or whatever. There's a flat earth. They're going to suppress climate denial and all of these things. And there's a question over where that line of free speech is and when you should be allowed to talk about conspiracies. But they banned Alex Jones, they banned Nick Fuentes, and one can make the argument that these individuals may have been more hateful, and that was why. The question becomes, why is Candace Owens, with all of her theories on the front page, propped up, promoted to many individuals, despite her saying things like she's not a flat earther or a round earther, she's left the cult of science, saying things like Bridget McCrone is a man. These things are outlandish, but for some reason YouTube and many other platforms seem to be completely okay with what she's doing, not okay with what others are doing. This, I think, it's bringing people to a state of paranoid delusions. We had a show on my Culture War podcast with some psychologists and psychiatrists, and I asked them, we understand that there could be mental illnesses, that someone's brain is not firing properly, and thus they're going to believe things or see things that aren't there. But what do you call it when someone comes to believe a false version of reality because they were convinced of it by writings, literature, movies, or otherwise, and they said that's just still paranoid delusions? There are now people that believe the French legionnaires, the French Foreign Legion, Israel, and the U.S. military have a hit squad out, and they're going to take out prominent personalities, and it's just become a paranoid delusional state. Egyptian planes around every corner. This is driving people to a state of violence. And it's not just this. There's a general political disagreement and hyperpolarization, but this is a very serious component of it. I don't know if there's an answer. I'm not saying anyone should be censored or banned. I think the answer is sunlight is the best disinfectant, and more people are coming out and criticizing the absurdities of what Candace Owens has been saying, and I think that actually may end up being the best disinfectant.
Tim, you said on your podcast, Timcast, that the attacks on you, actual shooting that occurred, that because of the extra security costs you're having to take on to just to protect yourself and your family and your employees, that this could end your business.
So I didn't say that it would end the full business outright. We have several shows. We have other shows that are not hosted by myself. The issue is that to host a show where we bring people in every day, we give out our address 4 or 5 times to various assistants and people, makes it relatively easy for people to figure out where we are. And then you have the general security costs of keeping bad people out. We've had run-ins with creepos. We've had stalkers. A man approached the property once saying he was sent by God to speak to me. And we have to pay men to come out here with guns and make sure these people don't get in. Now we have extra added costs following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which means as a normal media business, we have advertisements, we have sponsors, we have paying members, and we do very, very well, even with our general security costs. Now we have to reassess, can we do the show here if they're opening fire on us? How do we secure against things like drive-by shootings? And there's actually no way you can unless you restructure where you're doing work out of. One recommendation was a penthouse in, say, somewhere in Florida or something like that, because then no one can get in there, no one can actually shoot at you. The issue now is, following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the credible death threats that we have received, we are looking at a new artificial cost to do business, and that is high-profile security at our location. This can cost upwards of $2 to $6 million per year, depending on how extensive. I mean, I believe you already know this. I imagine you deal with it similarly. And it was reported that Barry Weiss has to spend, $10,000 per day for her bodyguards. As a media business, it's totally fine. We can handle the cost of cameras and staff and doing the show, and we all do fairly well. But now you add on the need for 24/7 bodyguards and multiple bodyguards, and that's money we don't have. So this means that Timcast IRL, our nightly show with guests who physically enter the property, we may have to reassess and restructure. That could mean we can't afford to do business this way. My family can't afford this. And especially with the increase in political violence going into a midterm year, we have to reassess the most appropriate way for me to do shows, which means maybe I go into more of a solo slot like I do in my mornings, and we don't do shows that are physical. That's a possibility. We're also having emergency meetings with our partners to figure out a way to, we're looking at economies of scale. Where can we bring in all the personnel to a single location so the cost of security is spread out among 10 people instead of one person, and then we can continue to work. So hopefully it doesn't come to any immediate termination or suspension of Timcast IRL, but that may be the case. We can't handle death threats that turn into physical manifestations, actual shots fired at our property.
No, it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, and it shouldn't be happening. And like you say, this has real-time consequences for people in terms of protection and security and all the rest of it. And not just for you, for your guests, everybody involved. It's outrageous. And for people to trivialize that or doubt it or whatever it may be, just compounds the problem, right? And it just fuels what I think is an increasingly big problem in America of just deliberate disinformation that's being spewed out for money.
I would encourage doubt of all people, of me or of anybody else. The issue is it's not actually doubt. It is zealotry.
Right.
I mean, Andy, great journalist, got a press release from the sheriff's department where they confirmed that our security called in the report of shots fired, that a gray sedan had been circling the property. In all fairness, they said that we didn't turn over surveillance footage, so they couldn't substantiate the claims, but the report did happen. We played the audio on our show last night. We don't want to release the footage because it compromises the location of our cameras, security personnel. It shows the layout of the property, which would dramatically worsen an already bad situation. But it's not about doubt. It's about there's no amount of evidence that they are willing to accept because it is cult-like zealotry among people who don't want to believe this is reality.
Tim, I just want to ask you, just before I let you go, just because you've had an experience with this, I just interviewed Nick Fuentes and it blew up massively online. I'm not going to ask you about the interview. I just want to ask you one question, because you interviewed him with Ye, and they walked out and so on. This debate about whether you should platform, whether I should platform people like Fuentes, what do you think about that?
We had Milo Yiannopoulos on, which generated quite a bit of controversy, and I had people criticizing me for hosting him. I think it's sunlight being the best disinfectant. We have to be robust and prepare in our ideas and be prepared for these debates. I actually think you did it is good work that you've done in hosting Nick Fuentes. I think people should interview and challenge him. And I know that you're facing, I don't know what the right word is for it, but people are certainly coming after you now in a negative way because we're willing to do so. I think Stephen Crowder did a good job. If you want to interview Candace, Tucker, Milo, Nick, anybody, I think it's appropriate, and this is what we should be doing with these debates and conversations. So I applaud you for doing so.
Simple, good to talk to you, and it's very sobering what's been happening to you, and I hope they get to the bottom of who was doing it, and I hope that your business continues to thrive, because you're an important voice out there, and I thoroughly enjoy listening to you, so thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, I really do appreciate it.
Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day and Optimum Night all-natural supplements. Thousands of Brits and Americans are already taking them with incredible results. Optimum Day boosts your energy and supports weight loss throughout the day. Optimum Night helps you relax and get deep, refreshing sleep. They have countless success stories, including from some very familiar faces. England legend Michael Owen, who lost 40 pounds, AFTV's Robbie, who lost more than 100 pounds. To watch their full stories and many more, scan the QR code on your screen or visit oxfordnatural.com/Piers. And here's the best part. Use the code Piers and get 70% off your first order. Yes, 70% off with the code Piers. Imagine the scene, a veteran TV host causing outrage by interviewing a rising alt-right star who's facing accusations of racism, anti-Semitism, and much more besides. Yes, Bill Maher interviewed Milo Yiannopoulos almost 9 years ago. And some of those who despair at the mainstream rise of Nick Fuentes and his followers believe a lot of this all started back then. Well, Milo Yiannopoulos joins me now. Welcome to Uncensored.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I remember the Bill Maher thing. I remember the fallout from that. Now, when you look back at that, Milo, when you see what's happening with Nick Fuentes, do you feel that you were like at the start of all this, that you were partly responsible for all this? How do you feel about it?
I certainly feel as though it looks a little similar to when I was speaking at Berkeley and giving journalists conniptions. But I think there's something very distinctly different about me and somebody like Nick Fuentes. We've moved quite dramatically in America toward a sort of, I would call it something like an epistemological crisis. 10 years ago, we had positions. There were people with intellectual hinterlands who had opinions and who were consistent in their political beliefs. I don't think Nick Fuentes really believes in anything at all. And I think it's partly a result of the press spinning out of control to attack Donald Trump. There are all kinds of etiologies for it. But I think it's quite a different moment we're experiencing now. And I think he's quite a different phenomenon.
I mean, I interviewed him at length and put to him a number of more controversial things that he said. He doubled down on most of it. He unashamedly said he was racist. He explained why he was racist in a very racist manner. He was blatantly misogynist and unashamedly so. He kind of hedged round about Holocaust denial, but I suspect, as some people have said since, he was playing a sort of arch satirical game with me about that, so that he could say later he didn't really mean it. How much of what is going on with him is performative? How much of it, you know him, you used to hang out with him and Ye and others, how much of it is real? How much does he really believe?
Well, I tried to befriend Nick because I wondered if there was anything to save there. And so I became, I suppose, something like a mentor to him for a couple of years. And it turned out that there really wasn't. He's a person who just wants to hurt people. And I couldn't find, it's like nailing jelly to the wall. I couldn't find any consistent or substantive kind of core to him in any way. I mean, Nick is a kind of chameleonic character in media. On one day, he'll go on a podcast hosted by an African-American who has rappers on, and he'll say, oh, I love immigrants. I know illegal immigrants. No, they're not bad people. And then he'll come on with you where he feels he's on surer ground, and he'll sort of do the smirking, double down kind of mischievous routine. He's a very gifted speaker. He's obviously got very high verbal IQ. He's a very charismatic person. Having observed him and having known him for a little while and been on the receiving end of some of his worst behavior, he's something distinctively different, as I mentioned before, from the provocateurs of a decade ago and the decades before that, in that he is, I think, emblematic of Gen Z, really, in being quite a pure and sort of terrifyingly pure nihilist. And really, I couldn't tell you an opinion, aside from hating Jews, that if he has on Tuesday, he will absolutely for sure still have on Thursday. And that can't be a good thing.
I mean, you mentioned that you're the son of a woman, your mother, who was born in Germany, who was Jewish. I suppose it begs the question, knowing how apparently anti-Semitic he is. I mean, he's constantly attacking Jews, constantly accusing Jews of running the world in a malevolent way and so on. why would you want to hang around with someone like him? And indeed, Ye, for that matter, who then began spewing anti-Semitic content.
Well, Ye is in a completely different category. I mean, Ye is a generational a genius. I mean, he can speak for himself. He doesn't need me to speak for him. I think these two people are in completely different categories. I think that maybe to British ears, some of the discourse in America can sound really just baffling and horrifying and hateful. And it's important to understand what's really going on. Whereas 10 years ago, we were sort of saying things to be mischievous and naughty, provocative, and to push the boundaries, that now has sort of evolved into a less ironic kind of I guess you call it an equal opportunities loathing for everybody in the forms of people like Nick Fuentes. But, I got to say, I don't have that much of a problem with a lot of what he says when he's talking about. I mean, when you were sort of incredulous about his misogyny, I felt it actually was a little unfair to him because 10 years ago we were talking about how men were getting left behind, how women were overtaking them at university, how the world had suddenly, bafflingly, and very, very abruptly become quite a hostile place to be a man. That situation has not gotten better, and so I think his generation's hostility toward women is lamentable but very understandable. And when he comes to talk about what he would call Jewish power, there is a discussion to be had there that has not been had for a very long time because people have been spooked or intimidated or threatened into silence because of an event 75, 80 years ago, which has been weaponized against I think legitimate debate about, for instance, what the state of Israel is up to. I think it's really good. I mean, I got to tell you, I really give you a lot of credit for breaking with the establishment on Israel and coming up with the opinion that you have, which I think is the correct one. But it was very difficult up until about 5 years ago to speak plainly and honestly about some of the most appalling behavior of the Israeli state because you knew what was going to happen. You knew what you were going to get called. And I do think there's some value to having a character like Nick. I'm not a fan of Nick's, but I do at least see some positive benefit in, if you like, the wreckage he's left behind.
But the problem is that his groypers, his fan club, all the abuse that's spewed my way since I did the interview was entirely predictable. But I've been really struck, not just by how blatantly misogynist and violent it is about women, and I don't really accept the defence that, well, men have been treated badly. I've been leading the charge for young men to be treated better, for the man bashing to stop the song. It doesn't mean at the same time you have to just belittle and demean women, or say they shouldn't be allowed to vote, or shouldn't be allowed a job, or they're going to get old and fat and ugly and they're all annoying. I mean, that's not about defending the male position. It's about just demeaning and belittling and attacking women, which is to me grotesque. But I think in terms of it does look ugly, but you have to understand it in the context of a very heavily feminized society. I mean, we have speech codes in the workplace. We have exams rewritten to favour girls. I mean, it's not just that women are pulling ahead in university. I mean, women really have engineered the world against men. And I'm not saying I like the tone that some of these Zoomers take, but do I understand it? I sure do. I really do understand. A 22-year-old guy today has no realistic prospect of building a life for himself, and no path to being a patriarch, no path to being a husband and father that he can plausibly see. So they're dropping out. They're getting hostile. They're getting bitter. Do I get it? I'll be honest with you. I do understand it. And what about his racism? He just admitted, I'm a racist, and then explain why. He doesn't want to be walking around near black people and so on. I mean, he articulated perfectly what it is to be a racist, where you want to be away from people.
Everyone feels a little bit. Don't you think everyone feels just slightly like that? Maybe he's an extreme case in the wake of George Floyd, and perhaps their frustration is with the white liberals that made it happen, or whatever. But I mean, there is a phrase. I hope it's okay that I use a safer version of the word. There's a phrase in America.
What is with Milo Yiannopoulos? Why is his eyes like cross-eyed, and why does it look like he's having trouble keeping his eyes open?
At the moment, Negro fatigue. And it is used to describe people just being sick of hearing about, black people this, black people that, black people complaining in the wake of George Floyd, which.
Oh boy. Oh, this is rough. This is really rough. Dodo donates $2 because freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. Tim Pool, moron. Yeah. Well, more bullets for Tim, I guess. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Which was just the most grotesque absurdity and an offence to common sense and to decency.
Do you think it's acceptable? Do you think it's acceptable and decent to use a phrase like the one you just used?
Well, I don't think there's too much wrong with what I just said. I certainly don't wake up in the morning glad that the world is.
Does Milo actually have a fucking brain tumor? Is that what they do? Make you go cross-eyed?
More full of hate. I'm a Catholic, so the most important thing to me is not.
So why would you use a phrase like the one you just used? If you don't want to fuel that kind of thing, why would you use a phrase that you know is so inflammatory?
Well, there are much worse versions of that. I was using a sanitized version out of respect for your program.
I doubt the average black viewer watching this, or African American who hears about that, is going to see it that way.
I think they'd rather be called what I said than have somebody who than have white people kind of tied up in knots, not even sure whether they should call them African American or black, because these things are sort of used as a sort of ever-changing linguistic weaponry against one racist society. Look, I mean, you can get you can get waylaid and go down on a tangent about that if you want. What I was trying to explain in an anthropological way, it was explain to you, how people are feeling in America, and it's not just 22-year-old far-right racists that feel like this. It's not.
Well, what I'm struggling to do, if I'm honest with you,
it's,
I'm struggling to see where you are different to Fuentes, other than you speak in a posh English accent. I mean, you basically agreed with everything he's been saying while saying, I don't agree with him.
No, I mean, I think there's a big difference between somebody who is leaning into animosity and hatred of others, and somebody who is observing it happening, sympathetic about the origins, and lamenting the fact that it exists. I mean, I don't think the tone that I'm taking, irrespective of my accent, is anything like the way that Nick talks, and I think the comparison's slightly silly.
Well, because I think you can
just because I can understand, because I'm empathetic to this group of people, and because I think that now and again they have a point about things, doesn't make me Nick. It means that I can perhaps understand that group a little bit, sort of see where they're coming from in some respects. And making friends with Nick was my intention was if I can have one foot in that world and one foot in the sane world of everybody else, maybe I could help bridge the gap there. It turned out not to be the case because he's let's say not a bridge builder, but
what is it specifically you don't agree with him? What is it you don't agree with him about? Christmas is peak time for online shopping sprees, but that also means it's peak time for hackers and data brokers who steal your information online. The solution is very simple. Use ExpressVPN.
I think he has a reductionist and grievance-fueled view of the world that explains almost everything that's wrong with America, geopolitics, the economic state of his generation, and the fact that he can't get a good burger. It all seems to be the Jew fault. And there are some things that, now and again, that do strike one as unusual, whether it's a Jewish overrepresentation in certain industries. There are certainly criticisms to be had of Israel. But Nick reducing the whole world down to a vast Jewish conspiracy, and it would all just be fine if we could smash Jewish power. I mean, I don't have anything remotely like that kind of point of view.
Well, how could you? Your mother's Jewish.
I think it's strange that you're. I think Jewish. Yeah. I think it's strange. I'm confused as to why you seem so anxious to suggest that we're identical. It's quite.
No, I didn't say that. I just, as you were defending him over the misogyny, defending him over the anti-Semitism, defending him over the racism, I just began to conclude that although you're saying it in a different way, and obviously I was being ironic, I myself speak in a English accent, but it seemed to me that you were going out of your way to defend things which I thought were pretty deplorable in that interview.
Well, I'm trying to understand where these guys are coming from, because there's a lot of them. There's a whole generation of them, and if we simply write them off as racist, sexist, misogynist pigs, we'll.
That's what Nick is. Yeah, he's a Nazi. You can write him off.
Lose them, and we'll lose them to people like Nick Fuentes. I take the view that it would be better to understand what of their package of opinions has validity and what does not, understand where some of their anxieties and concerns are coming from, figure out what we can fix, and try to rescue a generation that seems to me to be sliding into nihilism and hatred of everybody. Isn't that a good thing?
Well, I mean, look, if we expand it, if you look at someone like Ye, you represent him, I think, right? You work with him still?
Yes, I manage the lawyers, and I run this family office. Yeah.
And again, I would simply say this is a guy who, on the record, I would have asked him this if he hadn't walked out of our last interview to get him to explain why he said these things. But only 3 years ago, literally 3 years ago this month, he praised Hitler, denied the Holocaust. I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. I do love Hitler. He posted an image of a swastika fused within a Star of David, which led to a second suspension from X for incitement to violence, and so on. Right? He then produced a song called Heil Hitler, which was banned from many platforms and so on. This is deliberate baiting of Jewish people in the most horrific manner possible. Again, I just ask you, are you comfortable working for him with that?
Well, of course I'm comfortable. I mean, he's an extraordinary human being. I mean, there's a perfectly good explanation for that, which he has given a number of times. You can find it plausible or implausible, as the case may be. But the way he explained it, and he did this on a live stream, and it's readily available, he said, I want to perform Heil Hitler at the Grammys, because if I do that, those words will suddenly no longer have power. I will have conquered them. I will have drained them of all of their...
Yeah, that's not why he said that.
I forget the expression he used, but I suppose I would say something. All of their, their toxic, hateful, taboo energy. Or whatever. The way he was articulating his artistic project in doing that, and some people find it persuasive and some weren't, was that was in terms of abuse survivors. We used to laugh at them 10 years ago when they had trigger warnings and safe spaces and little puppy rooms and stuff like that, because everybody knows that if you get raped or something terrible happens to you, the best way to put your life back together is exposure therapy, so that it doesn't become this sort of thing that that turns you into a blubbering mess every time you hear about it for the rest of your life.
Buddy, give me a fucking break. Like, especially when you add up all the other racist shit he was doing.
Your life, you just slowly kind of acclimatize back and get used to it. Ye seemed to be taking a similar view about some words, phrases, and opinions that have had a stranglehold on our culture for a long time. And it's funny, he perhaps hasn't read, the Holocaust in American Life by Peter Novick, the Princeton academic, who explains how that particular historical event was sort of rebooted in the academy in the 1960s and formed the basis of modern what we call grievance culture and victimhood ideology that became BLM. But Ye sort of seemed to instinctively intuit that this was being weaponized and leveraged to stop people talking about other things like Israel, for instance, or other things like the fact that one particular group of people seemed to be all the managers in the entertainment industry, and they were systematically defrauding and screwing the black entertainers that they were managing. I mean, he's entitled to that view. He's entitled to that observation. And it's right that his intention was to take this this horrifying taboo, the greatest evil in history, as we're all told to call it.
What would you call it?
It was his intention.
Well, what would you call it?
Well, no, of course it was a monstrous and incomprehensible evil. Maybe Stalin was worse. Who cares? Like after a certain point, it's like it's just evil we can't wrap our heads around, isn't it? But if the way he was articulating at the time he gave that interview, and within a day of giving that interview, he was on a live stream and he said, "I want to sing Heil Hitler at the Grammys because after that the words will no longer have any power." That's a bit more of a complex, subtle,
it's not complex.
project than you're giving him credit
Milo,
for.
honestly, it's just a crock of shit. That's not why he did it. Just for attention. He didn't care about antagonizing and upsetting and distressing Jewish people worldwide. He's a massive entertainer with 33 million followers on X alone, as he reminded me when he did his little performative stunt with me. And the truth is that all I've heard you do in the last 20 minutes is defend all these people from what I think are indefensible things they've said. And you've done it in a very sort of moderate sounding way. But I just think I'd say this to Ye's face if he hadn't bottled it and run away. And I wouldn't have bought into the. He was doing all this stuff for some profound, complex reasons. No, he wasn't. He was just Jew baiting. He was Jew baiting and using Hitler
as I said at the beginning, some people are not going to find it plausible. I do think it's a pity that you two in your encounters with one another seem to have spoken past each other so much. You obviously haven't.
Last time I was prepared to do a lengthy interview. I did a 2-hour interview with him several years ago, which I thought was very illuminating, very enlightening. I was looking forward to doing the same thing with him the second time round, and he just bailed on me after 3 minutes because he obviously worked out it was going to be a publicity stunt.
Having had that conversation with him and having seen a little glimmer of what is clearly a remarkable intellect, albeit an unconventional one, I mean, you don't seem to give him very much credit as an artist, as a creative, as a doctor.
No, just to be clear.
Dude, he's a fucking retard who's addicted to nitrous. Like, give me a fucking break.
He's one of the most talented. No, hang on. He's one of the most talented artists of my generation, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's possible,
but it's also possible to say that.
No, he's not, buddy. Like, compare Kanye to Michael Jackson. Like, it's just night and day. Like, it's just not. It's not remarkable anything he's done. Even like when he was still making good music, it's just not all that. It's not great, You can listen to it, it's fine, but it's not like, oh wow, this is, groundbreaking, life-changing, like, Michael Jackson, where it was totally different, totally new, totally unique. It's just not. He's like another hip-hop artist that's decent. Like, that's the best you can say about him.
Some of the stuff he's
and now his music is just trash. He's just putting out garbage.
Come out with in the last 2 or 3 years has been disgusting, and I would have said that to him to his face. And by the way, the offer remains. If you want to go back to him and tell him we've had this exchange, I don't expect you to answer for him. If he wants to actually have the balls to sit there and
Milo has 8s. Kanye clears Michael, and it's not even close.
No, Michael Jackson's better. Apparently Milo has a brain tumor. Thanks for the donation, dumbass.
answer these questions to me for a sustained period of time, I will do that interview. But he didn't want to. He'd rather turn it into a little...
Something of an answer... Sorry, go on.
No, go on. Make your point.
Perhaps something of an answer to your frustration is the fact that he did sit down with an Orthodox rabbi a couple of weeks ago, give a public and direct apology for having hurt people from that ethnic and faith group, and undertake to understand a bit better why it was that what he was seeking to accomplish with those garments and songs and whatever didn't land and upset and hurt a lot of people. I mean, he has begun to.
Sure.
To acknowledge that. I mean,
like the guy is. He was in a fucking Klan outfit. Like, give me a fucking break.
Perhaps your producers didn't tell you that, but that's for him to talk about.
Tell him the offer stands.
He has already acknowledged that, and he has already begun to.
Last time he bailed on me after 3 minutes. If he wants to have a longer conversation, I'll be very happy to do it. I've got to leave it there. Milo Yiannopoulos, thank you for coming.
The brain tumor thing is just a rumor? Oh, okay. Well, there's something making him cross-eyed. I don't know if it's like crystal meth or something, but clearly there's something wrong with him.
On Uncensored.
Thank you. God bless you.
Angel Studios are back with a new must-see documentary. It's called Thank You, Dr. Fauci, and you're going to hear a lot more about it over the next few months. An eagle-eyed member of the Uncensored team, known as one of the first eager superfans to comment on my interview with Nick Fuentes, was Stephen Crowder, the host of Louder with Crowder, who wrote on our YouTube channel How to Not Conduct an Interview 101. And Mr. Crowder joins me now. Welcome to...
Yeah, so Stephen Crowder is desperate for money because he has a dwindling audience and he's also divorcing his wife. And he's trying to defend Nick and, you know, basically appeal to the Groyper crowd because he thinks that's a way to get a bigger audience. It's just all a grift.
See you, Mr. Crowder.
Thank you for having me, sir. Merry Christmas. Or do you guys say Happy Christmas? I've heard it both ways.
Well, we do both. I'd be very happy to wish you a Happy Christmas and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Despite you impugning my qualities as an interviewer. You did expand on this. You said Piers Morgan is a liberal at heart, which I think is probably right. So he spent the whole interview trying to gotcha his way through identity politics on a guy who already rejects the premise. I did think that was an interesting commentary, actually. I would start by saying I wasn't trying to gotcha him because I'd already made it clear I was going to put to him, I'd already said this publicly, I was going to put to him all the more contentious things that he has said, which have gained notoriety, and challenge him properly about it, which I think I did. I don't categorize that as a gotcha. He got very exercised about the story involving his father, and I said on an earlier panel we did that actually, if I had my time again, I wouldn't have named his father, although it's easily discoverable on the internet, but I wouldn't have done that. I would still have told the anecdote, because as I tried to explain to Nick Fuentes, the story was put in the public domain by Nick Fuentes about his father in a way in which you could only construe from it that his father made decisions when Nick Fuentes was young, which appeared to be racist decisions. And I was curious whether he felt he was a product of that environment. Now, he went nuts about that, and he's perfectly entitled to, and he's come after me and my family. If he's perfectly entitled to do all that, I don't care. But I was curious why you felt that I was playing gotcha with him and not just actually, I think, doing my job as a journalist and just challenging him about the more contentious things that he said.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I don't think you challenged him on the most contentious things. And by the way, it's not an impugnment of your character. It's a different interviewing style, right? I think that trying to shame someone like Nick Fuentes for being racist, for being misogynist, like that's a layup for him. He's already been accused of that, and I don't think it's very fruitful. I mean, I don't want to conflate gotcha with challenging. So I would say, by the way, yeah, if he's going after your family, Nick Fuentes, if you're watching, strongly condemn that from your audience if anything is happening out of line. But I also would say, when the guy makes a good point and says, hey, you know what, my dad's not here to defend himself, could we move on from that? Don't do it 6 more times. But I counted 6 times and you're not able to get to where you actually have disagreements. See, when I sat down with Nick, and yeah, I played his clips back, people could argue that it was tedious, but I would play a 1.5-minute clip, you know, a 2-minute clip, because I wanted to show it in context. And I was able to actually lay out, we were actually able to contrast our policy, our prescription differences, where people know. And so I think if you go after, for example, father being racist. I don't even know that you would construe his father's being racist, because then like Applebee's, no one likes Applebee's. No one likes Applebee's.
Hang on. That's not what he said. He literally told them.
That, yeah, here we go. Like, this is clearly just grifting horseshit. Like, Nick's dad didn't say anything about not liking Applebee's. He said he doesn't want to go to Applebee's because there's blacks there.
The story that his father didn't like that particular restaurant chain or others because they were known for black fare.
Sure.
Well, that's racist.
Black fare? What if people don't like black fare as far as food? What if people don't want to be somewhere where they're more likely to end up in a World Star hip hop video? This is where we get to the issue of you and him discussing per capita. Right, let me ask you this. Like, you're Catholic.
Oh my God, here we go. This is just pathetic. Like,
we're done with this. You said you'd be happy to talk about it. What do you think is going to be fruitful in attacking a celibate Catholic for not getting laid?
I didn't attack him.
You're driving people into his arms.
I didn't attack him.
He said he needs to get laid.
I think he does.
That's a heresy.
I think he does. I think he's an incel.
So you advocate heresy.
I think he's, well, I perfectly understand if you're a devout Catholic, which I'm not. If you're a devout, I was brought up a Catholic and I was given spiritual guidance by Catholic nuns, and a lot of my family are very devout Catholics. I'm not particularly, but I still adhere to, you know, broadly adhere to Catholicism, albeit there are parts of the teachings I don't agree with. So that's my position on it. But I can understand if he'd said to me the reason I've never had sex.
Then why bring it up, Piers? Why is it relevant whether he's been laid or not? Because I said in my interview specifically, just so you know, I'll answer for everything I say. When
I don't know, because he has a lot of opinions about women, even though he has, like, no experience with them.
I said, I hate it when people use something that should be seen as a virtue as an attack. Out of all the views, if you view them as reprehensible, and I, by the way, strongly disagree with a lot of Nick's views, the least relevant is whether he's celibate as a devout Catholic. That's like a good thing. And so you actually give him the
Well,
moral
yeah, but
high ground.
actually,
He says, hey,
had he
take
said
my
to me,
dad out of it.
yeah, but hang on, you're putting up a better defense, if I may suggest, than he did. Because had he said to me, I'm a devout Catholic, and the reason I haven't had sex is because the Catholic Church forbids that and says you should be married before you have sex. Perfectly reasonable answer. That's not what he said. He never said that at all.
So you didn't do your research, because he said that literally dozens
He
of
may have
times.
said it elsewhere. He didn't say it to me. I only asked him about that stuff because there is a view that he is what they call an incel, and that he whips up that kind of mentality, and that's why he's such a misogynist about women and so on. It's an interesting thing to ask him. He seemed to me quite happy to answer it all. He was quite emphatic in his answers. Fine. I didn't see that as an attack. I was joking about getting laid.
I keep seeing clips of pickup artists asking out and getting girls' numbers. They all sell courses on how to a girlfriend. What I don't get is if they're so successful with women, why aren't they in relationships themselves? Seems like they're grifters.
Well, there's two explanations. They hire women to basically stage pickups to make it look like they're good at what they're doing. Or two, they don't want a girlfriend and they just have casual hookups. I would say the former is probably more often true with these pickup artist dudes online. But, yeah. Like the whole pickup artist thing, a lot of it does relate to just casual dating. So, you wouldn't expect those sorts of people to have a girlfriend. Thanks for the donation, though, Ghost.
Have you seen this guy's vids? Thoughts?
He went on Myron's show.
Yeah, this guy, makes stupid black pill content. It's just garbage. Basically, he's a whiny beta male, and he, just says, the only reason why some people get more girlfriend and have more money than other people is because they are better looking. And that's like every video he's ever made, and he says the same thing over and over and over again. It's just garbage. Thanks for the donation, Rayman.
Matt Walsh has been in an extreme downward spiral of biblical proportions, and it's been feeding my spirit. It's absolutely hilarious. How are you feeling, VG? Looking very jacked. It's been keeping me motivated to go to the gym. Thank you for that.
I haven't really been following Matt Walsh all that much, but I have noticed that he's trying to appeal to the Fuentes Groiper crowd more and more, and that's always a sign that people aren't doing great on social media. So I don't know exactly what's going on with him, though. And thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm just super fucking tired after training. Really, really zonked. Sleepy, peepy, poopity doopity. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. Thanks for the donation, though, Pharaoh Enzo.
Will you come back on the stream to debate life abolitionism right now?
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's take a look here. Okay. Oh, fuck, I'm tired.
I think he's already doing his own live stream, isn't he?
Yeah, but he can get him on. Well, he got him on before.
We have vegan gains here again.
Wait, what? Is he here
Hello.
already? Oh, that was fast.
Well, Life, you just finished that very long-winded debate proposition. But do you wanna say it again?
Yeah, the reason why I reject veganism is because I believe that anti-natism does more for animals than veganism. I think that anti-natism is preemptive, that it prevents people from being put in a position of having to choose between going vegan and choosing foods that they actually enjoy, that humans are inherently destructive to animals, that they destroy their natural habitats, that they
Yeah, okay, shut up. I get the
require.
idea. Your voice is annoying. So, are you again? So,
No,
are
well,
you
you don't
against
have to be
child rape?
disrespectful. If you want to make it, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a debate, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought.
I get it. Your voice is annoying.
What-
Shut up.
what's
I get your point. So, yeah, if you're going to use this argument that there's a better method of preventing harm than veganism, therefore, what's the point of promoting veganism? Okay, well, what's the point of speaking out against child abuse? Are you against the idea of people advocating against child abuse?
There would be no child abuse if people were never brought into existence in the first place.
Right. So, why don't you rape kids?
The children should not exist, and if it were up to me, they would not exist.
Okay, so why don't you rape kids though?
Because
you eat meat, right?
I'm not understanding your point. The point is that I
Do you
never
eat meat?
So it's not my responsibility to make
meat?
it a better place.
Do you eat meat?
I absolutely do. I love it. I'm going to eat a steak tonight.
Okay, so why don't you rape kids?
Because I wouldn't enjoy it, and I think that is unethical. I don't think that consuming my natural diet is unethical because I didn't choose to exist. So it is not my responsibility to mitigate a harm.
So wait. So you have no problem with somebody else raping kids?
No, I absolutely do have a problem with it, but that is not my fight. I mean, I think it's unethical. That has nothing to do with me. I don't rape kids. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. This is a straw man right here.
Do you want to repeat your proposition, buddy? You literally just said there's no point in anyone being vegan because a better way to prevent harm is by not having kids. So you're implicitly claiming there is no moral impetus for anybody to do anything ethical, because if everybody were to just not have kids, everybody would die and it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm saying vegans have no moral standing to try to condemn other people when they are imposing life onto people without their consent and enslaving them to an existence they did not choose, and then they want to tell people to go vegan.
Okay, so you're telling me because vegans have children, they have no right to argue that people shouldn't eat meat?
They have no credibility to say that.
Okay, well, what does that have to do with fucking anything?
If I do it, it's going to be of my own volition. And I've already said before that if I were to go vegan, it's going to
why did you even bring this up? Because, okay.
This is my objection.
The only thing you're saying is it's hypocritical to have kids, but then argue for veganism. Okay, but that doesn't actually refute the idea of veganism. All you're saying is that it's hypocritical. Okay, we could grant that. What the fuck does that have to do with refuting veganism?
I just told you the definition of veganism. I'm not sure which part you're missing. If you're going to breed me into hell, I'm going to continue to eat your animal friends. It's that simple.
Okay, so what is the argument against raping kids?
That's your argument. I have nothing to do with raping kids. I don't rape kids, so I'm not sure what your point is.
No. Again, if we follow your premise, you're saying there is no responsibility on an individual to not torture and kill animals because there is a better way to prevent the suffering of anybody, which is to not have kids.
That's
So-
not my position. My position is that if you're here involuntarily, it is not your responsibility to make the world a better place.
Okay,
It's
so
not-
you have no problem with raping kids.
They're more ethical.
Then you have no problem with raping kids. If it's not your responsibility to make the world a better place, then everybody can just rape kids. We can stab people's eyes out.
Other people who feel enslaved, they can prevent people from raping kids.
Okay, so do you support the Holocaust? Do you support Hitler? Do you support Hitler in the Holocaust since he like wiped people out?
I'm not going to even justify this. What I mean, that has nothing to do with the point that I'm making.
Has Hitler prevented the birth of more kids than you?
I love how you always want to point to Hitler. It's like the
Has Hitler prevented the birth of more children than you?
Who gives a shit? That has nothing to do with
Has
my
Hitler
argument.
prevented the birth of more children than you?
I
Yes
don't
or
think
no?
he really did, because there were a lot of people who were procreating even while they were in concentration camps.
Yeah, so how well did that work out?
It didn't work out very well. I'm not sure why they would do that.
Okay, so then Hitler then did prevent the birth of more children than you.
I'm not an ethicist, so that would be an ethicist position. I don't support taking people out without their consent. That's not my position.
But you support taking animals out without their consent.
No, see, you're trying to impose vicarious liability. I did not take these animals out. I am consuming the end product. I did not kill any animals.
Okay, so you're fine with... Okay, so if somebody were killing human beings and selling their flesh...
I'm going to eat the food that I enjoy.
Right, so if somebody were killing human beings and selling their flesh, you'd have no problem with buying human flesh since somebody else did it?
I would probably eat your flesh. Absolutely. A vegan steak sounds very delicious.
Well, for one thing, that would never happen because I'd beat your ass.
No, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be good quality meat.
That
Oh,
is
no, look,
that is so
I'm
fucking
beefy.
disgusting, man.
The problem is I'd beat your ass.
I would eat you. That's the
Well, no, you wouldn't. I'd beat your ass, and in fact, I'd do
Super
more
gay,
than
too.
that.
I
I'd
would
turn you
eat
into
you.
vegan
Come
cat
on.
food.
It's not as asparagus.
Oh my god, guys.
So again, the issue is with what you're saying is that you're making the claim nobody has a moral obligation to do anything other than not have kids. So by that reasoning, you should be fine with people raping kids. You should be fine with Holocausts. If not,
has no morality whatsoever.
So if that isn't your claim, and you're saying it is only the case that we have a moral obligation to act morally to human beings, then name the trait that is lacking in animals that if lacking in a human being would justify treating a treated human being like an animal.
Humanity, that's the answer.
Okay, what do you mean by humanity?
The capacity to be a moral agent, the capacity to enter into a social contract.
Okay, so you're fine with killing retards.
I'm sorry?
So you're fine with killing retards.
It doesn't matter. The exceptions don't make the rule. They're part of a class.
Wait. So you're fine with killing retards. You just named the trait.
I didn't say I was fine with killing anybody. It's nothing.
You
it's
just
not my-
named the trait. You said being able to act as a moral agent. Retards can't act as a moral agent, so you're fine with killing retards.
part of a class that are moral agents.
So being part of a class? So what makes... So I'm sorry, if the majority of fucking human beings are committing immoral acts, reproducing, then how in the fuck can you claim that, stupid?
Simple. If
How
you
in
want
the
me
fuck
to
can you claim that, stupid? So you're literally claiming that like virtually every single human being on the planet does something horrifically awful. The one cardinal sin, you're fine with people doing everything else but reproducing, but the one cardinal sin you're accusing everybody of, but you're claiming human beings are like somehow rational moral agents that are beyond animals. Even though human beings reproduce like fucking baboons.
This is very simple. If you want me to go vegan, all you have to do is support anti-naism. Publicly endorse anti-naism or your channel.
You're never doing that. You're never doing that. How about I just find you and break you into fucking pieces so you can't even fucking move a single finger?
Tonight, as a matter of fact.
No. How about this? I will beat you so fucking hard, you will never be able to have sex in your entire fucking life. How about I mutilate you so fucking horrifically bad, no one will even want to have sex with you when you're completely incapacitated. You will never have children. How about I punch you in the balls so fucking hard, I permanently make you infertile? Would you like that, since you don't want to have children? How about I make you fucking infertile?
Because you're vegan, so if I eat you, then that's technically still vegan.
Yeah, well, how would you like me to make you infertile? I will beat your nuts in so fucking hard, you will never be able to have children.
I'm already sterilized, so that would be pointless.
No.
That would be ideal.
Well, no, vasectomies can reverse themselves. I'll really fix you good.
I'm not sure if anybody can.
Wait. You don't even have to do all that. All you have to do is give me the right that I'm asking for in the first place, and then that will save your animal friends. If you support my right to...
You'll never... No. Me supporting antinatalism is not going to make you go vegan because, again,
Absolutely,
you literally claimed You literally claimed you're fine with killing retards. You have no moral interest in veganism.
I sacrifice when you're not even going to compromise. You're not going to meet me halfway.
What do you meet you halfway with what?
You want me to support your cause, but you're not going to support my cause.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
No, because you think that
no interest.
And I disagree.
No interest in acting as a moral agent and protecting the defenseless. You have no interest in going vegan.
I am not
a
moral agent.
Manipulative, lying fuckwit. You only care about yourself. That's it.
And that's what I'm saying that all anti-natives should do. And if you're a life slave, you should only care about your own liberation. You should not care about making the world a better place.
Right. So you're fine with Hitler. You're fine with Holocaust, genocide. You're fine with child rape. You're fine with everything. Right?
Problem. We choose to exist.
You're fine with everything, right?
Not our problem.
Right. It's okay to rape kids according to your worldview. So you lied this entire time.
I used to be here.
Right. So you're fine with raping kids according to your worldview. So you lied. This entire time you lied. This entire time you lied.
I lied.
Buddy,
what are you talking about?
This guy is one of the most dishonest fuckwits I've ever come across. Like, this guy is fucking a brain dead troglodyte.
Frank with you. I'm telling you exactly.
Thank fuck of all people, this guy discovered antinatalism and made himself infertile. If anybody should be an antinatalist and be infertile, it's this fucking guy. I'm glad his genes will not spread.
I concur wholeheartedly. I should be an antinatalist, and so should you.
Well, you're a
very triggered. I thought you were so into
fucktard.
Like, you're triggered. I got you.
I'm not planning on having kids. You're just a genuine fucktard.
You actually met your match.
Oh my god.
I met my match. Somebody who says child rape is fine. Nobody has the only moral requirement of a human being is to not have kids. But if you want to rape kids, well, that's fine because you're not going to reproduce, right? So somebody fucking a 12-year-old before, like, who hasn't gone through puberty, that's fine because you're not going to have kids.
Well, I wouldn't exist, so it's not my problem. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right. Having sex with children is fine according to your worldview.
Not fine. It's not fine for those.
No one's going to reproduce, right? How's a 6-year-old going to have a child?
The 6-year-old should not exist. That's my position.
Right. So you literally claimed the only moral obligation a human being has is to not have children. So it's okay to rape kids because you're not going to reproduce.
That is not true. That is not what I said. You're completely.
That is your moral position.
No, they don't have a positive duty to interfere with somebody else because they didn't choose.
Literally said you do not have a duty to make the world a better place.
Not say that.
You literally said you do not have a duty to make the world a better place. You literally said it's okay to torture and kill animals for that reason. Therefore, according to your worldview, it's okay to rape kids.
You're mentally challenged.
Right. So then when I point this out, you have to bullshit and say, that's not my position. That's not what I actually said. And you have to go back and forth and play these fucking mental gymnastics. So again, if you're going to fucking claim,
go fucking tofu and go fart on fucking.
Again, if you're going to fucking claim the only moral obligation anybody has is to not have children, therefore it's okay to torture and kill animals, then that logically leads to it's okay to rape kids.
You do for human beings. You have no empathy for human beings, and that is my problem.
Oh, no empathy for human beings? Well, I'm not the one going around saying it's okay to rape kids.
It's like vegan equilibrium.
If I have no empathy for human beings, then why do I have a worldview that says it's wrong to rape kids, whereas you don't?
It's okay to breed human beings into hell.
I don't think most human beings are being bred into hell.
They absolutely are.
If you ask most human beings if they'd prefer to live, most say yeah, so clearly they're not being bred into hell.
Well, friends, that is my only leverage.
Sorry, are you saying you're living in hell?
Yes, I am saying that. That is
yourself. So why haven't you killed yourself?
Because I don't have the right to do that in a humane matter.
Yeah, you do.
I have a humane ethic.
Wait. Just in the interest of making sure the stream doesn't get taken down, there are some limits to.
Okay, sure. Why haven't you Minecrafted yourself?
Because there is not a humane option. That is the reason why.
There is. Buddy, if you put a bang bang device against your head, you won't feel anything. You're gone.
But we also, just because this is also not, I'm hosting this.
Specific methods on this channel.
Wait, guys, I'm hosting this for a friend of mine. We have to just be careful about insinuating things and giving anybody ideas about things. If it was my channel, I just let this run, but I have to respect my friend's channel. He did ask me to be.
Okay. So if you put a Toyota Corolla against your head and you press the gas pedal down, that you're gone instantly.
Why don't you fucking do it, vegangains? You say you were going to beat my ass. Why don't you fucking do it? Why don't you?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to.
Okay, I'll give you my fucking address. How about that?
Oh, I'll come visit you.
Absolutely. We can set the date and the time.
So again, you're full of fucking shit. You just claimed most human beings are living in hell. I asked you, why don't you Toyota Corolla yourself? The reason you said no is because there's no humane way to do it. And I literally, please explain to me how putting a Toyota Corolla against your head and pressing down the gas pedal, how is that not humane? What pain do you feel when a Toyota Corolla travels at 2,000 feet per second and will make your head go watermelon?
How about we have the conversation on your channel, because you want to say things that's going to happen.
No. How does instantly watermeloning your head cause any pain or suffering?
Because I can still survive and still have debilitating.
No. You can't. If you do it right, if you point it towards.
By the way, I have
the Corolla. If you point the
I have
Toyota
to just
Corolla,
interject and say no one on this channel should encourage anyone to do anything harmful to themselves. Just have to say that this is all just hypotheticals that are being presented, and no one is actually suggesting that anyone do anything like that. These are just philosophical conversations and discussions. So,
yeah. So if you aim the Toyota Corolla up your mouth, if you aim the Toyota Corolla up your mouth and you point it towards the occipital lobe, you're dead.
He just told you to stop, and you're still doing it.
It's impossible. Impossible to survive a Toyota Corolla if you point it in the right direction. So point it in the right direction, you're good. Especially if you use A
Okay,
double
well, I'll give you
barrel
the address,
Toyota
and you can bring
Corolla.
the damn Toyota or whatever vehicle you want to bring.
Well, how
And
about this?
Hey, no one's gonna bring anything to anyone. We're just posing hypotheticals here, having a philosophical discussion.
Hypothetically, if I
In
drove toward
Minecraft, and we're not.
yeah,
we're-
hypothetically in Minecraft, if I drove towards your base in a Toyota Corolla, and I were to Toyota Corolla for you, would you have a problem with that? Would you like that? Would you like me to give you a Toyota Corolla?
advocate for me to have the legal right to do. How about that?
Why don't you come to Canada and just ask for them to do it for you? There's a thing called MAID here.
That's fine. I would have to move to Canada for whatever the duration is in order to have the right.
I don't know if that's true. I think
It is
anybody.
true.
I'm pretty sure you could just apply for MAID.
No, a non-resident can't. I've already looked it up.
Okay.
And I'm actually writing all of that in my book.
Okay. Well, I can. You're in the States, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll
Let me
drive
just
out
ask
to
you-
you. Well, I'll
What
drive
big-
out to you. We can go to
It
a
would
car
just-
dealership. I
make
can show
my-
you exactly what model of Toyota Corolla to get. We can drive to a car dealership. I can
All right,
tell
I
you exactly
gotta-
what model of Toyota Corolla to get, with all the right interior trims.
I have to stop it here, guys. I'm sorry, it's getting a little too.
We can do it on
He's full of
channel.
shit.
Let's put-
He's full of shit. He's
say
full of
whatever
shit.
you want.
He's never gonna buy a Toyota Corolla, and he's never gonna drive it into his mouth. He's never gonna do it because he enjoys living. He likes
No, I
getting
do-
attention.
I-
He likes
so
being
full-
a dickhead online. He
I
enjoys
absolutely-
this.
You're so full of shit.
He's full of shit.
No, I'm not.
He
No,
lives in
I'm
the
not.
States where he has access to every Toyota vehicle possible.
So,
You live in the States.
Basically, it's got to a point where, life abolition. I think you posed your debate proposition. I think vegangains did a pretty good rebuttal to it. I think everyone's heard both sides. Basically, it's at this point everybody knows what each person's position is, and they can kind of decide for themselves who won that debate.
It wasn't a debate. It was just an attack, an ad hominem.
Well, you know what? There was
It was an ad hominem abolitionist. Bro, let me just say this. Abolitionist, you have to be logically consistent, man. You have to be logically consistent to arrive to certain conclusion. You're basically a human supremacist, and you sound like a tard. I just wanted to let you know. And cry me a river. Cry me a river about it, bro. You sound like a bitch. I don't give a fuck.
All right, well, let's tone down the name calling at this point. We had our debate. Let's get back to let's tone things down for now. I appreciate vegangains. I really appreciate you coming on here to do the debate. Everybody wanted to see it happen for a while, at least on this channel. And I think some people in your chat had asked for it too. So,
Well, I just want to say this one last thing.
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
If anybody wanted to take a drive down the highway to heaven, and they were serious, they didn't enjoy this life. Again, especially considering you live in the United States, where there are car dealerships all over the place, where you can get a very cheap, affordable used vehicle and drive down the highway to heaven, you're clearly not serious.
Why is it my
You do
responsibility?
not want to drive down that highway
I did not correct. I didn't-
because you're enjoying life enough where it's not worth it.
I did not correct myself. It is not my responsibility to fix a problem I did not create.
Again, that argument makes no sense because you're saying
course
you
it
don't
makes sense.
enjoy existing. Like,
Guys.
guess what? Like, guess what? If I thought I was ugly, if I thought I was ugly, and I wanted to fix that, then
you don't give a shit about humans.
If I
None
thought
of
I
you-
was if I thought I was ugly, and it was something I cared about, you'd logically expect somebody to do something about it, like wear better clothes, lose weight, exercise, get plastic surgery. Like, these are things you'd expect somebody to do regardless of whether it's their fault they're ugly.
What are you talking about? I am doing something.
If you think your life is literally hell, if you think your life is literally hell and it's not worth living, again, you can go, you can get a car, you can get a car at a used car dealership very inexpensively and go on that long drive. Okay?
Well, I'm advocating for the right, so I'm actually doing something.
You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
All right. Well, I thank you. Thank you both for engaging in the debate. Maybe we'll do it
for human beings whatsoever.
What's
yeah,
that?
I mean,
for human beings, only empathy for animals.
All right, so Vegan Gains said his closing statement. Do you want to give a closing statement, Life Abolition?
I think no. Wait. I want to say something here. No. Animals, herbivorous animals specifically, are way better than you, bro. Do not compare yourself to them. They way better than you. They way more civil. They way more peaceful. They way more respectful, and they would mind their business. I choose any herbivorous animal over your head and people like you. I just want to let you know that.
Great.
Yeah,
you would save
cows are better people.
if you gave me the right that I'm asking for. So you don't care about me. You don't have any empathy for human beings, but you do care about animals. So if you want to save animals, then you can support the right that I'm advocating for, and then that solves the problems for everyone.
You don't believe in anything you're saying. Again,
you're actually nice, and if you capitulate and give vegans what they want, then they're going to support your continued enslavement. They don't give a shit about your enslavement. So you have to be a complete.
If you don't like living, you can always go down to the car dealership.
Right? No,
so
I don't want to do
shit.
The retarded way. I want to do it the right way. The right with medical assistance to ensure that it actually gets done. Effectively.
I can guarantee you with a nice 2-wheel drive car, you'll get it done.
It's my way.
All right. We're gonna call it here, guys. But thank you for both for participating.
No problem.
Yeah.
Oh, VG, I do have a question. Were you saying you would save the humans over the herbivorous animals? I don't think you would say that, but I maybe misheard you or whatever.
Well, I would say your average human I would let burn in a fire, and I'd rather save a cow, a chicken, or a pig.
Right,
yeah, exactly.
You're evil. You're evil as hell.
You're literally the one who claimed the only moral obligation we have is to not reproduce. So I don't know why the fuck you'd care.
So how is it our responsibility to make the world a better place?
Wouldn't sorry, from your worldview, if I let the human beings burn in a fire,
what the fuck?
From your worldview, if I let the human beings burn in a fire and I'd preferentially save animals, that would be ideal for you, because if they die in a fire, they can't have kids, can they?
I don't want them to be tortured,
like,
though.
You want.
I don't want them to be tortured.
Guess what? Most people have kids. So, like what? 5 minutes of pain? 5 minutes of pain? 5 minutes of pain versus an infinite succession of hell. 5 minutes of pain. Would you rather have somebody go through 5 minutes of pain and then it's over, or them have an infinite succession of children that all experience hell?
You are an ethicist. Go talk to Amendum. Go talk to Gary.
Why can't you answer this question? Would you rather somebody go through 5 minutes of horrible pain, then it's over, or them have an infinite succession of children that live roughly 70 to 80 years and they all go through hell? What's better? What's better?
I would respect their consent. I'm an ethicist.
Better? What's preferable?
It's whatever they consider to be preferable. It's their life. It's not my life.
Oh, weird. Well, guess what? Most people prefer to live. Most people prefer to have children. So if you're claiming somebody's own agency and free will is what makes something morally acceptable, then what is your problem with somebody having kids?
You use me for your agenda, and you think that
people want to exist.
I am not a means to your end. I am an end unto myself. I don't have to support your bullshit to make your to make your worldview come to fruition. I'm not going to support it.
Like this is just the most self-contradictory nonsense I've ever fucking heard in my life. It's just so goddamn silly.
Support my right, and then you don't even have to deal with people like me. How about that?
Well, again, I'm perfectly fine with pummeling your nuts so that you are infinitely sterilized. And again, I would be more than happy to show you.
Actually going to do it though. You're going to pull up.
I'd be more than happy to go with you to a car dealership.
You're not actually going to do.
More than happy. We don't even have to do that. I'd be more than happy to go down to a car dealership with you, help you pick out a nice Toyota Corolla, and I'll teach you how to drive.
Let's leave the cars and the car dealerships out of the conversation at this point.
You ain't going to pull up vegangains. You're full of shit.
All right, let's
I'm not like look.
Pull up. Pull up. That's what you got to do.
Well,
Stop
wait. I am totally fine with actually meeting you in person. I won't pummel your balls. If you want to go down to a car dealership, if you want that help from me, I'd be more than happy.
All right, guys, let's everybody stop.
He is secretly in love or whatever. I think he's secretly in love. Are you a fan, bro? What was your name? Abolitionist, whatever. Are you a fan? What's going on, bro? Are you gay?
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
That is relevant.
There's nothing.
Nothing wrong with it. No homo. But I'm just asking. Like, seems like it's for other purposes.
Fuck heteros.
Anyways, man. Yeah, no, like you retarded. Like for all that. Like I know you probably do have the information needed though. To look up how many animals are being slaughtered annually. 100 billion land animals, true marine animals.
Can prevent that from happening. Stop creating human beings.
No. You can prevent that by holding yourself accountable. First of all,
both
work. Keep it to yourself.
Both work.
Both would work exactly.
If the whole interest in telling people to not have kids is to make a better world. Then why in the hell wouldn't you advocate for making a better world through other means?
Stop creating the animals that consume animals, and then you solve the problem.
Yes, that's why you go vegan.
No, that's why you stop procreating.
Well,
We're not going to do.
Guess what? Veganism is more politically viable.
No,
so
anti-veganism is viable.
Sorry, how is that? How could you even begin to think that?
Because
you think you will convince every single person ever to not have kids?
Than a person who does exist, even if the person is vegan.
I'm sorry. You're telling me it is more politically viable to convince every single person to never have kids and actually go through with it. So they will get sterilized. They will use proper contraception if the sterilization isn't like 100%, perfect. You're telling me that is more viable, sterilizing and preventing everybody ever from ever having kids versus people just going vegan.
Would it be possible for me to consume animal products? Yes or no?
Sorry?
If I did not exist, would it be possible for me to consume animal products? Yes or no?
What the fuck does that have to do with what I just asked you?
Everything to do with it, because you guys want to do shit the retarded way instead of a way that actually makes sense.
So again, what is more politically viable?
Rika, chill out.
Convincing everybody to support anti-natalism and actually following through with it. Like, guess what? It's easy to get pregnant by accident.
Because it's easier to abstain from procreation than it is to just change your diet. People don't want to change their diet. It's a part of their actual quality of life. Eating some shitty beans every day is going to make people miserable and depressed.
Wait, life abolitionism, do you think for the general public that they're more likely to go vegan or to go anti-natalist? Which one do you think is more likely?
To accept anti-natalism, but they will accept child-free because they're motivated by their selfishness. So if you present it as just being child-free, you don't want the burden of raising kids, they will accept that than to accept anti-natalism.
You realize, like, a lot of people want to have kids?
A lot of people want to eat burgers. They want
Look, man, here's the fact. Here's the fact. By 2050, there will be 10 billion humans. This is by our world data. You can check it out. It's published by the University of Oxford. and yeah, British Columbia and all this environmentalists and scientists, statisticians and so on. There will be 10 billion humans. If everybody today turned plant-based, we'd be able to feed everybody. If you care about other humans and the already existing ones, why wouldn't you go and hold yourself accountable and be an animal liberationist and not a cowardice and going to be like the fucking Confederate and the, you know, slaver, basically. That's where you are. That's who you are. You are the Confederate. We are the animal liberationists. We are the Union. And we basically, it's an evolution of consciousness. More and more people are going to be they're going to be an animal abolitionist. This is the future, or we have no future as humanity, because ultimately compassion and innovation, that's what we're gonna need. And
again, just to add to this, zoonotic disease transmission is a huge contributor to death and disease.
Population was not overpopulated, we would not have factory farming. So the reason we have factory farming is to accommodate the 8.5 billion, and otherwise we would actually have sustainable, humane practices. So it is their fault. The fact
that's not correct. Most of soy, like take for example soy, okay, one thing, okay, one plant. Soy would go mostly to the animals, factory farmed animals, being fed to them, about 80%. Then the rest would be used for 88%, and the rest 10% would be used for other purposes, and only 2% are being consumed by us. I mean, soy can make you powerful, can jack you up. There's so many potential from soy, and can feed a lot of people. Why not redistribute it to the people existing right now? You are, when you contribute to the animal holocaust, basically what are you doing is taking that away from other people as well. So you are contradicting yourself over and over again. I mean, there's no way out of it. And this is you, and you're having cognitive bias and not realizing you're like in trapped silence. You know, running in circles. Let me tell you something. I run circles around. Like, I look at things, from a broader perspective and what I can do to make myself better and the world better around me. Every day I try to work on something to make myself better. And you should aspire for the betterment for yourself and for your family and for your community and for the animals, most importantly. Our brothers and sisters, the animals are also us. We are animals. We all share this planet together.
Look, here's let me try to spell out the fundamental issue here. Look, let me try to spell out the fundamental issue here. You're clearly interested. You're clearly interested in reducing suffering, at least human suffering.
Right. Absolutely.
Now, there are multiple ways to do that. You could go vegan. Zoonotic disease transmission is a huge factor that is killing human beings, causing suffering and death. The recent coronavirus pandemic is estimated to have killed about 7 million people. It's caused a lot of morbidity as well. People have been permanently brain damaged from it, have permanent disabilities. And that's just one new virus. Flu virus every single year kills many people. It's usually in the millions worldwide. On top of that, you have chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, cancer being the main ones. So,
but I already told you that I would go vegan. The only thing I need you to do is endorse
okay, so you're not even listening. None of that has anything to do with what I'm saying. So wait. Your response to this is, well, if people just didn't breed in the first place and no humans existed, we wouldn't even have that problem to begin with. I could use that same argument. I could use that same argument to justify child rape. Well, why do you have a problem with me raping your kids? If you didn't have kids in the first place, there'd be no kids for me to rape. So why should I stop raping kids when all you have to do is stop having kids so I can't rape them? That's your argument, and it's fucking stupid. If your whole interest, if your entire interest is to make the world a better place by that
is not my interest at all.
Your interest isn't to make the world a better place. Okay, then why would you ever advocate for people to not have kids?
Because they should not exist in a world that is never going to be a better place.
If it's not better, So you're telling me a world? So you're telling me a world with no human beings is no better than a world with human beings?
Absolutely is.
Then your interest is to make the world a better place.
No, my interest is to not make people exist in the first place.
Is the world without human beings better than the world with human beings?
Yes.
So your interest is to make the world a better place.
No. Why? That is completely illogical. It's not to make the world a better place. Maybe for the animals.
How is it? Sorry. Then what is your motivation to not have human beings if it does not make things better?
In suffering, so they're not brought into existence. They don't have to suffer and die.
So the world's better. So you're improving the world?
No, I'm not.
Then if it's not an improvement, then what's the motivation to do it?
So that they don't exist.
But it's not an improvement. So if it makes no difference and it's not an improvement,
that's your problem. You're on the side of the breeders.
If it's not an improvement, then what is your motivation to do it?
Your position, vegangains.
If it's not an improvement, then what is your motivation?
What is your opposition to anti-nativism?
If it is not an improvement, then what is your motivation?
Actually against anti-natalism?
Answer the question. If it is not an improvement, then what is your motivation?
Answer several of your questions. You've answered none of mine.
If it is not an improvement, then what is your motivation?
It is not my duty to improve the world. I just don't want people to exist.
If it is not, then what is your motivation to have people not exist if you're claiming it would not improve anything?
The world can just exist as it is. I don't give a shit about the world. I care about the people in it.
If it is not going to improve anything, what is your motivation to encourage people not to have kids?
I don't think that it will necessarily improve it because it actually may make things worse for those who are here. But I don't give a shit about that. Don't breed people into hell in order
to... So you don't care if the world is worse for the people living in it. So you're fine with the Holocaust. You're fine with child rape.
No, not what I said. You're so foolish.
This guy is just scattered. Like it's just this guy is genuinely retarded. Like you made me debate a retard. You realize this?
Go make another fucking corn video.
Does this satisfy you, Noodles? Like, are we good now? Like, are we
no,
done with this saga? Like, I think I've thoroughly proven this guy's a fucktard.
I've just we all wanted to see the debate happen. I was allowing you guys to have it end a lot earlier, but you guys wanted to keep going, so why not? But
wanted to have thanks now,
thanks to both of you.
Whatever reason.
Yeah, like this guy is a schizo fucktard. Like I think I've proven that. It's just.
This was fine. He wanted to debate you. We wanted to see it happen. Thank you both for engaging in it. And yeah, if you want to do this again, LA.
Not with him. Not with him. Like this guy is a schizo fucktard who is just a time waster. Like we're done. Like this guy is a schizo fucktard.
Schizoid, not schizo.
All right. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end it. All right. Thanks, VG, for coming on.
Yeah, no problem, dude. Take care.
Cheers.
Yeah. That was genuinely one of the stupidest people I have ever fucking interacted with. Truly, remarkably, just unique fucktard. So he claims humans are living in a literal hell. And then when I ask him, if you're living in hell, why didn't you end it all already? And then he can't figure out how to use like a fucking shotgun and point it to his mouth and blow his own head off. Like that's too complicated for him. Dude, like there's videos on gore websites where you can see people doing this. Like if you point a shotgun at your head and pull the trigger, like your head's gone. You're dead. Like there's no fucking that up. And this guy is like saying he can't figure out how to do that. Like, I'm not advocating anybody do that, obviously. Like, you shouldn't kill yourself. If you're thinking about it, find somebody to help you. I have to say that because of YouTube community guidelines and shit. But it's like the point is this guy is full of shit. He doesn't believe people are living in a literal hell. He's clearly not living in a literal hell. If he was, he'd be motivated to, like, again, do the thing with the Toyota Corolla, like we were talking about. So he's full of shit. Then I literally got him to both, well, he literally contradicted himself. He claimed that if everybody didn't have children, it would and would not simultaneously improve the world. So simultaneously, it would be an improvement, but it would also not make any difference. So he was just straight up contradicting himself. That was one of the most bizarre contradictions I've ever seen anybody hold to. There's a bunch of other issues, like, again, the huge logical flaw with his whole proposition, of he doesn't have a moral obligation to go vegan because not having children would be a more effective way to end suffering. Well, just because not having children is more effective, that doesn't mean you can't also do something else that works. So if you could reduce suffering further by going vegan, why wouldn't you? And then his only fucking, like, that just ended up in a name the trait reductio where he had to bite the bullet on killing retards. And then he made the bullshit cope of, oh, but most people aren't retarded. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything. He literally named the trait as, you know, being a moral agent. Retards aren't moral agents, so he's fine with rounding up and killing retards. Like it's so fucking, like, that guy was one of the stupidest people I've ever fucking come across. I'm probably gonna have to delete the stream just to be safe because of the fucking suicide talk, but Jesus Christ, that was fucking stupid.
Because it seems to me he's a very angry guy.
Can I jump in for a second here? Because this is where I think this is important, right? His audience will. People out there, by the way, some who are voluntarily celibate because they're devout Christians, but also if you look at the dating pool out there, I don't think it's misogyny to say, I wouldn't date one of those young women if they were growing on my ass. And they're actually out there living in a world that's been created. They will identify you as someone who's helped create that, right? Someone who says, I don't care if the UK no longer looks white. I don't care if we lose our cultural identity. Hey, it's great, women's rights, and they're looking at their prospects. And when you say, hey, you're celibate or whatever it is, you haven't gotten laid, you're an incel. Guess what? You give him the moral high ground. When you say, hey, what about your dad? And he asks you, and I will say, he asked very respectfully, don't do that. You go on 6 more times. What did you ask about Stalin?
Because I thought what he was doing.
You said little twerp.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
said little twerp.
Stephen, I hear you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, honestly, I'm not. Because I've got a lot of respect for you. I think.
What do you mean turn on donos? They are turned on. Yeah, they literally are turned on. Are you not seeing the pinned message?
I think that well, thank you. I think what he tried to do, I think he was taken aback when I revealed that anecdote about his father. And I think he didn't want to address what he actually said on air with that.
Yeah, I love how he's motivated to kill himself. And then he's like, oh, it's not convenient for me to go to Canada and, like, set up the maid service. You're planning on killing yourself. Like, it's just so bizarre. If you're going to end it all anyway, like, if you have to go through some kind of inconvenience to immigrate to Canada, what the fuck does it matter? Like, it's so, like, and again, I offered, we can go down to a fucking car dealership and I can show you a nice, like, 2-wheel drive car that'll fit in your mouth, and we can angle it in such a way where we can drive down that highway. And you won't have to worry about anything. I can teach you how to do it. And you wouldn't take me up on the offer. So, like, this guy doesn't want to die. He enjoys living, and he's not living in hell. He's just a fucktard.
more veganism debates, shit's too fucking funny. I love hearing people waste their lifespan on a trivial subject only for you to point out how hypocritical they are and they accomplish nothing. Lololol.
Oh, dude, it's bad. It's funny how getting frustrated wakes me up. Like just talking to a fucking idiot. I've never dozed off during a debate because these people just irritate me. Well, thanks for the donation, Non-Wib. Glad you enjoyed it.
Anecdote, because it's pretty damning when you hear it. And I think he decided very quickly, because he's a smart, quick operator, to turn it into me attacking him about his dad who wasn't there and how disgusting and blah. And that's fine, but I kept trying to bring him back.
AE87, don't you mean AE86? Is that even a model? Yeah, I think you're talking about AE86. The initial D. I've seen people mod these cars for electric and turn them into electric drift cars. They're fucking cool. I'd actually like to do that. Mod one of these to be an electric drift car. That'd be sick. I don't know if it's possible to like 2JZ swap these too. Somebody tuned the fuck out of this thing. 900 horsepower. Yeah, I don't know if it's possible to 2JZ swap these or something. That'd also be cool. That'd sort of be preferable to electric.
86. It's currently my daily driver. It's pretty wicked for a daily driver. And
Okay, so yeah, 2J86. So he 2JZ swapped it. I don't know what else you'd have to do. Like, I'd imagine a fucking 1980s Toyota Corolla, you know, if you put in like a really powerful engine like that, I'm sure you have to do some other stuff to the car. But that would be fucking cool. I'd love a 2JZ swapped AE86.
I kept saying, look, it's not an attack on your father.
To his dad.
Well, it wasn't. I wasn't attacking his dad. I was saying, if you tell a story which looks to the world.
Which car is good to hide a dead body? Probably a car that has extra storage under the like trunk area. So there's a bunch of hatchbacks where you can open up the hatch and then there's like the rear trunk area, but you can actually open up the bottom. And then there's some cars that have enough space where you could probably hide a body. I think what's it called? I'm pretty sure the Mercedes G-Wagon has enough space with the under trunk thing where you could probably hide a dead body. So if you get pulled over by the cops and they just look in the rear, like they're not gonna suspect anything. So that'd probably be handy. That'd be a good car to hide a dead body. Can't really think of anything else that would be particularly good.
When they hear it, that you're saying your father was racist, can that have an influence on you as you grow up? That was the question I was making. I didn't want him getting off the hook of answering that question about his environment, having heard him in his own words put that story out there.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In trying to keep him 6 times, and that's what I counted on the hook for his dad maybe being a racist. Look, if your dad's in the Klan, it couldn't be relevant. It has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, right? What hook?
Well, it is if you openly
about,
admit to being a racist.
Hold on, asking him about Stalin. And I say this because the last time I was on your show, remember we were talking about Tucker Carlson?
Yeah.
And by the way, I would hope that you would be.
Oh shit, I gotta shit. I really gotta shit. I'll be right back. I gotta poop. I really gotta poop. Yeah, I'm gonna take a fat shit right now. Fucking goddamn it. I'll be right back. Fuck. That was a good shit.
Just as hard on Candace and people like Tucker for some of the things that they've said.
Sure.
I think it's fair to be even-handed across the board.
Yeah, I agree.
Stalin, I said I would like to ask him about that, right? Is he a fan? Is he actually an admirer? Or does he just mean to say he's fascinated? What did you ask? You asked him about his dad 6 times. You attacked him as, I don't mean attack him, you present him as racist, misogynist, right? Stuff that he already knows. That's the playbook. You'll drive your fans into his own arms. What was your question on Stalin?
Well, I asked him.
There wasn't one.
Well, there was actually.
There wasn't one.
No, you're
No,
missing.
there wasn't.
No, there was. You just didn't hear it. So I actually brought on a British journalist called Danny Finkelstein, who spent 90 seconds in a video talking about what Stalin and Hitler had done to his family. I did it in the context of him saying Hitler's cool, but I did. Stalin was addressed in that, and he was totally dismissive of a Jewish man talking about his family being annihilated by Stalin and Hitler.
Do you hear yourself? Do you think that's going to be effective or fruitful?
Well, it
Bring on
wasn't.
A guy named
It wasn't.
Finkelstein. No, it wasn't. You didn't ask me. Let me read you what I asked him about Stalin. Okay, because I think a lot of you responded saying it was softball. Did you watch the whole interview that I conducted with Nick?
Well, before you read what you're about to read, let me play a little mashup of you interviewing Nick Fuentes, and you can respond to this. Hang on.
Okay, but did you watch the whole interview?
Yeah,
Nick Fuentes, do you hate all Jews, sir?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you consider yourself an anti-Semite, a noted anti-Semite?
No.
Okay. Clears that up. Do you believe that white...
This is, like, absolutely fucktarded. Like, if somebody says, yeah, all Jews should be eradicated from existence and Hitler was a great guy, I agreed with everything he did. And then you asked him, are you an anti-Semite? No. Oh, well, I guess that clears everything up. He's not an anti-Semite. Oh, my God. You know, I can only imagine the conversations they had setting up this stupid interview. Hey, you're like big on the YouTubes right now, and my channel isn't doing so great. If I give you like a stupid softball interview where I make you seem reasonable, will you agree to come on my channel so I can get more views? Like, I'm sure it went something like this. Like, this is fucktarded.
People are superior to all other races. And then because... Piers, did you watch the whole interview?
No.
No, you didn't. Okay, so one of us came here quite a bit more prepared, which seems to be your approach with Nick. So let me read you my exact question on Stalin. Those were layups specifically because, again, I think you and I both agree, right? We want to have reasonable discussions. You don't want to radicalize people.
I agree.
Get rid of the bull crap on the outset so that we could actually get to real differences. And I think here's something that I really pursue when I interview: truth and understanding. I asked him about Stalin. Let me read you the exact question. Later on, it would help if you watched the whole interview. I said, my question to you would be, I know that you've said we want a Catholic theocracy or a Christian theocracy. I've heard the word dictatorship. Correct me if I'm wrong. I would ask you, since the end point seems similar to where Stalin would want us to reach, swap atheism for Catholicism, would you be able to name, or is there any one thing that you think America concretely should copy about Stalin's rule or revolutionary methods to get there? And guess what? We were able to actually answer. We were able to actually discuss it. How many retractions on your show? 0. Quite a few on mine. How many times did we actually get into discussions regarding where we disagree? And let me tell you where I disagree with him.
Buddy, he said Hitler was a great guy. He admitted to being a racist white supremacist. Like, what is this cope?
To the right of him on some issues. I'm definitely to the right of him economically. He's a pretty big sort of central... that was my question, and yours was...
Yeah, a Nazi? Really? Being a little more socialist? Like, weird.
We never asked about Stalin. He said, do you still think Hitler is fucking cool?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you? What'd you learn?
That he does.
And that's new? And he thinks they have nice outfits? They're Hugo Boss.
No, but okay, he didn't say that as his reason.
Did you learn about Stalin?
Wow. Oh, maybe Nick meant, like, they had good fashion. Right. This is pathetic, dude. Dude, imagine being this fucking desperate. Like, this is pathetic. I'd literally rather, like, just do gay hookups on OnlyFans for money than have to do this shit and debase myself. Like, this is more embarrassing than literally having gay sex on camera. Blink donated $2. Can't tell if this guy is actually giving good advice or if he's just a narcissist. He's kind of a douchebag. I can at least ascertain that.
It should genuinely piss you off that I'm 31 years old, walking over out of the gym, worked out 3 times a day, getting in my $250,000 supercar, fucking shredded, made $211,000
Don't know if you can call that car a supercar.
last month, working from home 4 days a week. This should piss you off because I am genuinely nothing special. If I can figure out how to have enough discipline to create...
Oh, there we go. Yeah, this guy's poor. This is all fake. Yeah, he's poor. He doesn't have any money. Yeah, this guy does not make any money. It's all fake wealth. By the way, if this guy was like seriously rolling in dough, he would not have this McLaren. This is the basic bitch rental car that somebody would get. You know. So this is a fucking rental. That's it. It's a fucking rental. This guy's poor. Most rental services will not rent out their car. Like if it's a really nice Ferrari or something, they're not going to rent it to some brokey. They will rent out these kind of cheaper McLarens, but they're not going to rent out like a really nice Ferrari or Lamborghini to a brokey, like a Murcielago or something. So this was the nicest car that he was able to get at a rental service. Yeah, fucking stupid. This guy's broke. What's funny too is this is all so easy to fake, right? Oh, take a photo on a boat or like find some outdoor area at a dock. Again, like, just take a short flight on a private plane or something. Or just stand outside the plane. I don't even know if it's taking off. Like, it's totally whited out, right? Like, if you were smart and you wanted to fake this shit, you wouldn't even take off in the plane. You just get in the plane. Maybe you have a friend who's a pilot or something. Film this garbage, making it seem as though you're actually taking a trip. But just set the exposure so that nobody can see the outside. Again, there's nothing actually indicating that he has any real wealth. So yeah, rental car, bullshit. All these people who claim to like know how to make money and all this crap, they don't know how to make money. They're making money by claiming they know how to make money. It's fucking garbage. Fuck this guy. So yeah, he's a narcissist. Thanks for the donation, Blink.
Is this now a sleep stream? How was your workout and how long was it? Maybe Frank needs to visit a Wagyu cattle slaughterhouse. I am sure they are killed humanely.
I think I did actually nod off on stream. I was pretty tired. Let me take a look. How long was my workout? 3 hours, 16 minutes. Yeah, it was a fairly decently long time. Yeah, that was pretty exhausting. Kind of wiped after that. I was doing a lot of exercise. Many sets, many reps, very difficult. Goonie goo goo. Spaghetti. Shoulders are fucking popping though, dude. Traps are looking fucking sick. Yeah, my traps keep popping more and more. I've got to like relearn how to do overhead press. I don't have the same ability in my shoulders I used to have. Yeah, the traps are just looking crazy. Fucking loving it. I don't know if I'm gonna fall asleep, but thanks for the donation, James. Dodo $20, the Hispanics of him in a private jet, so he can't be poor, you know, but he may not be as rich as he claims, and also I like to see you with the sunglasses that's based VG style. Well, he's probably not poor, but he's not nearly... He doesn't have anywhere near as much money as he claims. Like, nowhere even fucking close. Like, you literally need to drop a zero from, you know, what he's claiming to earn. But thank you, Dodo. Appreciate the donation. I am liking what the steroids are doing to my traps. That looks fucking sick. I'm getting traps like Kazuya. Having big 3D traps makes a huge fucking difference. Just makes you look so much fucking stronger, just having big ass traps. Diddly 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 diddly. Some good diddly.
Stalin, Piers? Did you learn about
I learned this about Stalin. I learned this about Stalin.
disenfranchised?
As I said to you, I played a clip from a guy who literally lost.
This is some of them are.
Yeah, so that was embarrassing. Fuck Steven Crowder. What a lying fuckhole. Oh my god. Oh, this is hilarious. Dude, how long has this been going on for? So basically, Quebec made it so doctors in the province literally can't make any fucking money. So all the doctors from Quebec just moved to Ontario or other provinces where they can make money. Now, I think after, like... Has this been, like, a decade at least? Or longer? Like, like, maybe it was even several decades. They've had this fucked pay system there.
Mais je le redis, on va pas reculer devant les syndicats comme l'ont fait les gouvernements du Parti québécois et du Parti libéral. On doit ça aux Québécois.
This is how hardcore Premier François Legault has been throughout the fall with...
Well, diddly 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 to you too, non-wib. Thanks for the donation.
Doctors' federations, but now he is changing his tune. So the question is, what's left from the Legault government's special law on doctors, Bill 2, that
Did I forget? No, that's fine.
was adopted under closure in October? Bill 16 will postpone the start date of Bill 2 to allow the government to make amendments to the law in 2026. And the CEQ seems to have made major concessions from what's coming out of the general practitioner's tentative deal. No more collective performance indicators linked to 15%.
Dodo donated $2.
The podcaster Candace Owens, okay? At one time, a friend of Charlie's, at one time, an employee of Turning Point. She has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies.
Yeah, well, you know. Our national debt is 38 trillion. Is trying to go into purchase 152 trillion of Nvidia chips. You turnip. Trump just secured a 25% cut of chips sales made to China. This could literally pay off our national debt. No. What a fucking retard. The only reason this makes even a remote small amount of sense is if they think this would disincentivize China from invading Taiwan. But, yeah, this is just stupid. It's not going to do anything. Fucking dumbass.
Police has pioneered a brand new hijab to keep female Muslim officers safe on patrol. They're the first force in the country to use the blue light hijab and has been created in partnership with De Montfort University. It's hoped to make a real difference to Muslim women who want to serve their communities. Emily Williamson has the story.
PC Sehan Naz started her.
The UK is a silly place. When you hire police like this, they're not stopping crime. You think this, if I wanted to commit crime, do you think some bitch like this is gonna stop me? No. I could do whatever I want when there's cops like this walking around. So these people are not supposed to stop crimes. All they're doing is giving out parking tickets. That's all they're there for.
Training just 3 weeks ago. She's now wearing a new purpose-made hijab and says she already feels more confident.
I always had that element of worry that I will be strangled when I'm out of duty, on duty. But this new hijab, there's a quick...
As if, I could just strangle her, no problem, without the stupid hijab thing. We have thumbs. You can just dig your thumbs into somebody's throat. You're a woman. Men commit crimes. You're worthless as a police officer. The only thing this person can do is hand out parking tickets. That's it.
Release system where there's magnets under my...
What's funny, too, is they can't even carry guns. If some fucking asshole wanted to just beat the shit out of her, she wouldn't be able to do anything. It's just, okay, well, I guess I'm dead now.
Chin, and they can release easily if in case I'm pulled.
Hijabs have been part of the uniform for a number of police forces for several years, but this latest design has been developed to help female Muslim police officers feel safe while maintaining their modesty.
Nothing like this exists to the level of health and safety compliance and...
Yeah, the UK is just fucking cooked, dude. It's just... Monty Python was not like a comedy sketch show. That was a documentary. Like, it's just baffling. They don't even realize, like, how fucking silly and stupid they are.
How many United States military veterans have you deported?
Sir, we have not deported U.S. citizens or military veterans.
I don't believe you served in the military. I haven't either, but I think you and I can agree that as Americans, we owe everything to those who have served our country in uniform, particularly those who have served in combat. Do you agree with that?
Sir, I believe that people that are in this United States that are citizens have legal status here. Those
Madam
that
Secretary,
don't,
we are joined on Zoom by a gentleman named Sejun Park. He is a United States Army combat veteran who was shot twice while serving our country in Panama in 1989. Like many veterans, he struggled with PTSD and substance abuse after his service. He was arrested in the 1990s for some minor drug offenses, nothing serious. He never hurt anyone besides himself, and he's been clean and sober for 14 years. He is a combat veteran, a Purple Heart recipient. He has sacrificed more for this country than most people ever have. Earlier this year, you deported him to Korea, a country he hasn't lived in since he was 7 years old. Will you join me in thanking Mr. Park for his service to our country?
Sir, I'm grateful for every single person that has served our country and follows our
And
laws.
can you please
and
tell
knows
Mr.
that our
Park
laws
why
are
you
important
deported
and
him?
every one of them needs to be enforced.
But you understand that many veterans struggle with PTSD, many veterans struggle with substance abuse challenges. This man took 2 bullets for our country. You have broad authority, by the way, as Secretary, to issue humanitarian parole, to do deferred action. Will you commit to at least looking at Mr. Park's case to see if you can help him find a pathway back to this country that he sacrificed so much for?
I will absolutely look at his case.
Yeah, that's rather embarrassing. That does not look good on her. Trump administration's so fucked. The UN has adopted Ukraine's resolution on studying the consequences of the Chernobyl disaster. A resolution also condemns the Russian suicide drone strike on the Chernobyl sarcophagus. 8 states voted against. The United States. The United States voted against it, along with North Korea, China, Russia, and Belarus. What the fuck has happened? Yeah, wow. The only explanation is there's compromised individuals in the White House, and I think we know who they are. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Blink donated $2.
Time to interview this OG vegan, smiley face emoji, musical notes emoji, steamer locomotive emoji, cool face emoji, musical notes emoji. This stuff bores me.
Well, I'm sorry, James. Yeah, I keep forgetting. We'll try to set something up soon. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. Blink donated $2. Imagine going on a date with this guy. Oh, yeah.
I don't go out to dinner with women. I don't go on dates because I don't know them and I don't know the quality.
Well, your whole charade would fall apart once they see the apartment you live in, right? And the car you actually drive and don't just rent to take photos with.
Quality of the conversation. And I am the kind of guy, I kid you not, if I sit down at dinner and I'm not enjoying the conversation, it's not going anywhere, I will put $200 on the table. I will say, hey, dinner's paid for. You seem super sweet, just not sweet for me. I hope you have a fantastic night. Do you need me to call you an Uber? Are you good? And
yeah, this guy isn't getting any fucking pussy, dude. Thanks for the donation, Blink.
100% of doctors' pay. No more color code to qualify patients' vulnerability. No more sanctions and fines for doctors' concerted actions to leave the province's public healthcare system. No more obligation for family medicine groups to take on patients that don't have a family doctor by 2027. But the GAP medical service will stay.
Check until next summer the results. And what I tell you is that we'll have hundreds of thousands of more Quebecers having a GP.
Premier Legault says he can't go into details of what's in the tentative deal with GPs Federation, as family physicians are in the midst of the voting process. But he refuses to admit that his government has given up on major points of its doctors' special law.
I'm happy. I just hope that they vote for the agreement.
Dr. Benoit Epel has been vocal from the start, condemning the Legault government's approach to force doctors to do more.
D'abord, la première bonne nouvelle, c'est qu'il y a une entente puis qu'il y a peut-être une fin à cette saga-là qui dure depuis trop longtemps puis qu'il y a une hémorragie qui est en cours de médecins qui démissionnent, qui s'en vont dans d'autres provinces, etc. Il fallait arrêter ça. Je pense qu'à un moment donné, la crise avait assez duré.
For the opposition, the Legault government generated a free-for-all with doctors.
Chaotic, catastrophic. This is the way that François Legault and the CEQ manage all the negotiation for doctors. And the people who pay the price of this is the patient.
The CEQ.
Yeah, don't live in Quebec if you want to get medical help. Because you're just going to die. I think I might be a little sleepy.
On a planet, no hope of survival. But cubicles, so...
Dude, that actually made it into a Metroid game. I'll stop when you die! Enough. Enough.
Are you enjoying this?
Yes! I several times over the past. Well, it's a disappointment if you actually had expectations. From the moment I saw the giant empty desert in one of the trailers, I knew it was...
Oh, that is lazy. Oh my god. Dude, PlayStation 3 games looked better than this.
Over. I think it's become obvious to anyone paying attention that Nintendo has been slowly turning all of its other franchises into Breath of the Wild for some reason. I suppose that reason being that Breath of the Wild sold way better than any other Zelda game, so clearly it's the giant empty open world that was the reason.
Brian Johnson is obsessed with avoiding sugar. IDGAF about sugar, and it seems like such a little thing to worry about when I already eat a vegan diet, with meals I prepare myself. Should it matter if I eat ice cream sometimes? Double down pointing triangles emoji, 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 double down pointing triangles emoji.
I'm just gonna skip the rest of that. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's just yeah, it's nothing. You know what though? Gummies taste great. They really do taste great. It's nice just sitting in bed with a big pack of gummies and eating them. Especially when you have a gummy. I love eating gummies with gummy while watching cartoons. This is gummy.
Hey, Do you ever think you may be a gay faggot that just likes to fuck femboys in the ass sometimes? Or is that just me?
Well, trying my best to be gay. I'm starting off with femboys and just easing my way into it. Thanks for the donation, man. This is Gummy, and I like eating gummies with gummy. This is my gum. It's a very special kitty. See this? This is Gum. His name is Gummy. He is my Gum. I love my Gum. He's my favorite big brown blob. He's so beautiful.
Reason for its success, and not that it actually had surprisingly good open world design. But of course, that is not the only problem with Prime 4. There's a lot of other ones. The most obvious being Miles McKenzie, Mr. Goldstein himself, one of the most annoying video game companions in history. In a fucking Metroid game of all things. You know, the franchise known for its isolation and hostile alien environments? Yeah, you get a chatty tutorial companion who tells you exactly what to do constantly, will solve puzzles for you if you don't do it yourself in less than 10 seconds. Oh, and if you thought to your
Yeah, I've noticed Nintendo is really making games for fucktards. Just lowest common denominator retard fuckwits at this point.
yourself, maybe this is just for the tutorial. No, roughly a quarter of this game is spent escorting around a bunch of cringy self-insert.
Picture this. 3 giant sweet red bell peppers cut up into bite-sized slices. Garlic, salt and some olive oil. Stir it up and it's like natural candy. 777 septillion 777 sextillion 777 quintillion 777 quadrillion 777 trillion 777 billion 777 million 777,777.
Yeah, that'd be good. I still like eating gummies with gummy. This is a good gummy to eat gummies with. I love my gummy. His name is Gummy. He chose me, and I named him Gummy. That's his name, Gummy. And he knows his name. When you say Gummy, he looks at you and comes over. 'Cause he knows he's Gummy. He's my little Gum. I love him so much. This is a really good cuddle gummy. Thanks for the donation, the Then Thou.
Characters who constantly chat about nothing in the background, who of course do Marvel quips and even tell jokes in a Metroid game. Hey, wait a minute.
Dude, this looks awful. Like one of the stupidest, lamest, boringest, like, shit shooters I've ever seen.
This all sounds familiar. Didn't I play a game like this 3 years ago, and yet everyone praised it as a masterpiece? That was also from a formerly beloved franchise that's tone and atmosphere was completely...
You know, it's really funny, too. People were playing previews of this game, like demos at trade shows. Everyone was like, oh, it's really cool. Oh, neat, new Metroid game. It looked like shit. And you know the reason they didn't say anything bad about it is because if they said something bad about it, they wouldn't be invited to these exclusive trade events. Video game journalism has turned to complete shit. It's just fucking trash. And you can't even trust user reviews now because everyone is an uncultured fucktard who doesn't know what a good game is, and that's why so many fucking idiots think Red Dead Redemption 2 is any good.
Destroyed. What game was that? It's
Regular gummies or enhanced gummies? And yes, Gummy is a delicious cat and a cuddle bug. He is a delicious creature.
I like both regular gummies and enhanced gummies. All gummies are good. Especially this gummy. He's my favorite gummy. Thanks for the donation, though, even though. Appreciate it. Oh, what a sweet baby.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, God of War. And yet everyone loved God of War Ragnarok. Weird. Now, of course, if there's any midwits lurking, I'm sure they're going to say something like, well, Metroid and God of War are completely different. Yeah, well, actually, I would argue what happened to God of War is worse than what happened to Metroid, truly. A franchise that used to be about
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
white male rage, getting revenge, ripping people limb from limb. It was a pure power fantasy game. And then somehow the franchise morphed into being about a beta male soy boy cuckold millennial with troll's remorse who fails.
Oh, yeah, that's stupid.
Reason. Metroid was Donkey Kong Country at this point, and their race is already extinct. I feel like this is just a mishmash of the Chozo and the Luma. The desert is like a glorified loading screen, except the game still has loading screens, so it's not. Maybe at the very least, the Metroid exploration areas of this game are good, right? Well, that brings me to the next major.
Enhanced Yum Gum Dim Sum 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 Enhanced Yum Gum Dim Sum.
I feel like I am about to die. But thanks for the donation, though, Non-Wib. Appreciate it.
Major problem with this game's level design, the linearity. This is a Metroid game where not only is the world not interconnected, unless you want to play semantics games and pretend the giant empty desert is the same thing as the labyrinthine design of Super Metroid or Metroid Prime 1 or 2. It's not. That's just a straight up fucking lie. No, these are dungeons, linear ass Zelda dungeons. Actually, probably more linear than most Zelda dungeons.
They didn't want to bother, and they knew this game was going to be played by fucktards, so.
Vault Forge is literally just 3 towers, filled with elevators that are glorified loading screens, and hallways. That's the entire map, and you have to basically do that twice, and then the 3rd tower is a fucking racetrack motorcycle tutorial. The snow area is an underground laboratory that is just a bunch of hallways and rooms. And the mines at the end of the game, which are just a clear ripoff of the Phazon mines from the first game, is probably the most linear area in the entire game. There's even one time in this game where the level of linearity actually becomes insulting. When you first complete the Vault Forge and acquire your motorcycle, which still feels incredibly out of place. This extinct alien race of tentacle creatures just rode a bunch of fucking motorcycles around. What is this, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds? But right after this, Miles calls you and says you can go wherever you want.
Congratulations.
Who asked you, bitch?
3 keys left. Up to you to decide which one to go after first.
Well, that was a fucking lie. As it turns out, not only can you not access the mines, you can't get inside most of the shrines. You can't in this area either. Until the fucking beam chip, that one tiny part is very linear. But so on and so forth.
Since hopping on pets, have you noticed any changes in mental health or drive/ambition?
Well, my mental health is better. I just feel better in general and everything. Ambition, don't think there's really been a change, but my executive function's definitely improved. And motivation to train is definitely higher. Thanks for the donation, gay guy.
which is still about 5 pounds for my heaviest. But for a rebound right now, grab yourself some fancy gym style gear.
Oh, good gay music. Nice and retarded. And it's kind of funny, like Kevin Levrone was doing like at least twice as much as what he's doing now for behind the neck shoulder press on a Smith machine. And that was like 2 weeks out from a show. Yes, his wife is training him. Fucking retarded. Spaghetti. I'm going to...
The painting you're looking at right now was created in 1841, and its title is Pandemonium. In it, we see Satan standing proudly after building the greatest palace in hell, where he will gather with all the demons of the underworld. He observes his immense creation from a cluster of rocks surrounded by boiling lava, while a bolt of lightning strikes in the background as if celebrating such an infernal and extremely dramatic paintings. Throughout most of his career, he focused on biblical stories filled with apocalyptic landscapes and exceptionally dark settings that make us feel incredibly small. Of hell in the famous 17th century poem Paradise Lost by John Milton. Population of hell. But what makes it truly extraordinary is the way...
How come you can't see his wiener?
Milton humanizes Satan. In this text, Satan is not portrayed as a simple evil figure, but as a complex, intelligent, and proud being who prefers to reign in hell rather than serve in heaven. Center of his infernal empire, extremely popular in their time. In them, his character obsessed him as an artist. Chaos raised the entire structure.
Okay, I'm gonna Force 3 trailer. Oh, what the hell? Takes like fire in the future? I wonder if it's gonna be aliens. Weird. Yeah, it's aliens. That's a funny... Huh. Yeah, I don't know if this is supposed to be Earth, but yeah, it looks like aliens. That's funny.
What do you think about the Jews?
They're good. Jews are good. Thanks for the donation, Hitler. Thanks again for coming on the show. No problem, dude. Anytime. Yeah, that looks interesting. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm really tired. I think I gotta go sleepy time. So, big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I am going to take my gum and go to bed. Gummy's tired too. But we'll try playing games tomorrow. I'll try to get my workout done earlier. I got Terminator No Fate. Where is it? There we are. Yeah, we gotta play this. So we'll try to play that tomorrow. But, thanks again, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow. And sweet dreams.